Well, doesn't that just whet the appetite for a weekend of Premiership enmity and history? Good evening, everybody. It is time for the great rivalries to be rekindled, the grudges stoked, and fresh chapters written in the rich history of England's storied old beasts. It all begins here under the glare of the floodlights in Salford. For the first time in a long time, Alex Sanderson can uncage most of his biggest bruisers for Premiership duty. 2 servings of curry in the back row, with both twins Tom and Ben back from respective head injuries. Jean-Luc du Preez was due to play, but a flare-up of some concussion symptoms has put paid to that. His twin brother Dan poised for a first outing since January from the bench. Still no Rafi Quirk or George Ford, but the Sharks backline purred beautifully against Gloucester last week. Sam Bedlow provided the ballast, Aaron Reid the freakish defensive heroics, and Tom Roebuck the killer touch in the wide channels. A 50th outing for bright young talent Joe Carpenter, who really has owned that 15 jersey. Newcastle Falcons not quite at full strength for this trip down the A1. First choice centres Sammy Arnold and Connor Doherty missing tonight, the latter unable to play against his parent club. Ollie Spencer and Cammy Hutchison form a fresh midfield pairing outside Ethan Grayson. But the big news for Steve Diamond, the return of Adam Radwan from a head injury. How we hope to see a tasty foot race between him and Aaron Reid. And Pedro Rubiolo back from the Rugby Championship after helping Argentina carve out a seminal campaign. On the bench, Jack Metcalf, once a Sale Shark, is poised for his Newcastle debut in the latter stages. Callum Chick hit 150 Falcons matches last weekend. Ben, head-to-heads.
Well, the obvious choice might be to go for the 2 number 8s, but I'm not going to go for the obvious choice, Jamie. I'm going to go for the 2 number 4s, because I guess back in the day you might have described these as 2 young up-and-coming enforcers, but the fun's gone out of the game for enforcers these days, so there'll be plenty of physicality on show, raw, unbridled, and it might get messy out there.
Well, I'm hoping for just gas, and I'm not just saying that because of the curry I had in the food truck before the game, but I can't wait to see Reid versus Radwan. 2 of the fastest guys in the league. Reid's try-saving tackle last week was one of the best I think I've ever seen. And just a foot race between those two, over 60, 70, 80 or maybe 100 metres, be worth the admission alone.
We can but hope. For so long, Steve Diamond utterly synonymous with Sale Sharks. He built this club from the ground up, sculpted it in his own muscular image. And now he sends his Falcons forth, bidding to storm his old backyard and end that bleak Premiership drought which continues to dog his group of players. The Sharks too preparing to emerge from their lair, but for Newcastle, 24 losses on the bounce now in the league. How much longer can this wait go on? How many more defeats must these embattled Falcons, led by the snarling Steve Diamond, endure? The odds once again stacked against them tonight, but underdog status is nothing new, nothing daunting to Newcastle. They've thrived on it, they've built big victories upon it, and they will carry that mentality and that hunger to upset the apple cart here in Greater Manchester. And few prouder Falcons, few who've given more to this club than Callum Chick. A century and a half in Falcons black and grey, and Adam Radwan averaging close to a try every other game on Falcons duty, yet to cross the whitewash in the new campaign. And the returning Pedro Rubiolo, thunderous Argentine specimen. He'll be clattering bodies left, right and centre. Big day for him, and a big day too for young Joe Carpenter, who on his 50th Sale appearance will lead out the home sides. He's part of the furniture now, Joe Carpenter. Born and raised in Yorkshire, but now a Sale Sharks frontliner. Sale's record here really is formidable. Just 1 league defeat in Salford for 2 years. And this place has become the cornerstone of so much of their success. Those 3 semi-final appearances in 4 years. In a sporting sense, it is one of the least hospitable venues on the circuit. The ball tonight brought out by an incredible local man, Matteo Sanderson, no relation to Alex. Close friend of flanker Sam Dugdale. He's a radio presenter, and he's raised tens of thousands of pounds for several local charities over the years, all while battling the scourge of cerebral palsy. So a special night for Matteo to bring the ball out, and the return to Manchester 2 for experienced former elite scrum half Carl Dixon. He'll be walking the refereeing beat tonight, having returned recently from the Rugby Championship and some tasty international affairs.
Okay, good to go.
No great geographical proximity between these two. Nearly 150 miles of motorway tarmac separate them, but they are united in their fierce pride at being the northernmost clubs in England's top flights. Premiership points on the stake, and the King of the North title too. Gus Warr running down a blind alley early on.
Tackle, let go.
By Philip Van der Walt, who's
Thank you.
played rugby just about everywhere professional rugby's played.
Okay, use it now,
England,
please.
France, Japan, South Africa. Take most on the rugby players' bucket list.
Okay, thanks. Okay, use it now, please.
Sale kicking more outside their own 22. Any other team in the league so far. Gus Warr providing most of them. These contestable box kicks for Aaron Reid and Tom Roebuck to burn after. First, a sure touch for Obatuyinbo. Try scorer last time Newcastle won a game. All those months, 19 months ago, against Gloucester at Kingston Park. Grayson shoveling it on to Tommy Gordon, who's already the league's top tackler. Hutchison, Scotsman runs it straight. Chick. See the difference in how Newcastle are trying to attack. They went wide against Leicester, didn't punch many holes, didn't find many soft shoulders. Got a bevy of 17 options from phase play such as this. They've reduced that down to 5 for this weekend, and you'd imagine 3 of those are run, kick and pass.
Use it now, please. Thanks. Let go, thanks.
7 phases. Banging at the door, it doesn't budge. So Sam Stewart gives one for Radwan to chase, but it's the milestone man Carpenter who commands those airwaves. War, Rob Dupria bangs it down the middle. Ball's been in play for 2 solid minutes.
Come back, thanks.
Players in midfield, this kick tennis just means that those forwards now, with the DuPont law, they have to turn, they have to track backwards after each kick.
Keep coming.
The backs might be happy doing it. The forwards probably don't want too much of this after 2 minutes of running around.
Those poor old bruisers doing shuttle runs in the middle of the pitch. Obatuyinbo flirting with the touchline. Rob Dupria. Tom Roebuck, watch him soar after this. This is his super strength, and right on cue, he dislodges the ball. Aaron Reid's kicking and chasing. Grayson's back there. It's a wonderful pickup from Ethan Grayson, and it had to be, but Sale come tumbling in, and they have the penalty.
Just look whether Gus Warr's going to go. He's trying to rip the ball as quickly as he can. I think this will go into the corner. But just Sale's kicking strategy is all about their control on the game early on, not giving the Falcons an opportunity. Watch Aaron Reid here, gets there really quickly, but at no intention of competing in the air. They just want to stop any attacking opportunity. This one, though, is perfect for competing. The competition goes up, Obatuyinbo spills it, and Aaron Reid's onto it. So just making good decisions, but what the last thing you want is people going up in the air competing, not winning it. Obatuyinbo getting some sort of momentum. Newcastle find themselves in the game, so picking and choosing which ones you're going to compete on, very, very important.
Looks like Obatuyinbo's injured as well. He's been down a while, so maybe his ankle.
Just make sure we get our set up right, okay? Set up right at the line out.
There he is, he'll enter
before we engage.
Yeah.
Second season at Falcons. Keen charcoal painter, scratch golfer in his spare time, multi-talented athlete. Not moving too freely, but he's going to soldier on for the time being.
Just wait for him to move fast. Okay, sign back on,
Great
please.
competition, gets his hands on the ball, nearly strips it outright, but just it's the second lurch, I think, there. Maybe just hyperextends the knee or gets a bang from Reid on the way past.
What's coming here, Ben? Rolling ball?
You'd expect so. Yeah, good setup. Got that 3 across the front, 3 into the second row. Now they'll transfer the ball to the back. Need to keep it hidden from those Falcons players. So they'll just shift infield slightly.
Cowan Dickey's got 3 tries to his name already.
Carnage.
Newcastle haul it down illegally.
Changed. It's gone back.
Ward digs it out. Rob Dupria, Carpenter eyeing up Stevenson, then burrows between 2 grey jerseys. Takes a third to haul him to deck. Dummy in the dry from Will Addison. Scored the first try here in Salford all those years ago when they moved stadiums. War. Kevin Dickey pulling it back. Bedlow. He's the crash bang midfielder. War again. Fun rain. Rob Dupree. Unorthodox. Reid on his bootlaces. He's got gas. Far too much gas. From a standing start, Aaron Reid scorches Falcons' fingertips, and Sale pounds first.
It's a quality score, so much variation in how they attack the line, whether that was the initial pick and go, the little pull-back ball behind Ben Curry's back, but here as it comes back, Fun Rain pulls it out, Aaron Reid's already calling for it, and as a result, you just see Rob Dupree. It's not his best kick, but he just knew that he was in acres of space. The threat there was being charged down or a defender getting to him. He knew if he could just lift it enough over the head, there was room for Reid to finish off. Really good kick. And that guy, so much pace.
Had a terrific outing, first of the season against Gloucester. 2 try assists, the best try-saving double tackle you will ever see. And he's off the mark for the new campaign. Rob Dupree from the touchline has lasered it over. 7-0 Sale.
Yeah, it's a great start for Sale, but you've got to make it difficult for them. What you can't do is give them that much space. Defensively, they're set up really well, but everybody blitzes from the outside when you don't need to. So you've got to look up and see who's wide. You can't leave Reid with all that space, and all he's got to cover across is Sam Stewart, who's got to run 65 metres to get to him. Defensively, not savvy that from Newcastle at all.
Let's go, carry on, let's go.
Just Obati Imbo's coming off there. If you saw in the top of that clip Austin's just shown you, he was meant to be getting around the back into that wide channel, but he couldn't move. He's walking off as we speak now. But if you just watch the clip Austin's just shown you, watch Obati Imbo at the top of your screen there, trying to get round and cover.
Jamie,
he's never going to be able to get round and shut that gate on the far side. Walking now.
Your players, come on. Thank you.
And unfortunately,
listen,
it's a very short evening's work for that man.
It's going to be Louis Brown, natural replacement, wearing jersey 23 for Newcastle Falcons. There he is. Once of Coventry, second year at the club. The natural fullback to come on and take that position. Grayson into Hutchison. Samiano just nursing a shoulder injury. It was 50-50 to play this week, but not risked here in Manchester by Steve Diamond. Got a big game against...
There's a little hit off the ball there.
Timing looked good to me on 10.
Well, they talked about the feistiness of Derby Day. We're seeing that borne out in these early collisions.
I think it was Bedlow, wasn't it, on Grayson? Timing might have been just okay.
Using that, please.
Here's the difference in what Newcastle have been doing. Rather than ploughing a fruitless furrow, they go to the skies and they get the knock-on off Roebuck. And Blameyer ploughs over the 10.
No advantage. Knock on. Stop. I reckon he clearly passed that when he went to. Maybe. I think he was committed. Okay, scrum.
Important part of the game for Falcons. Need to create a good platform. Need something to get themselves into this game. Sale have had all the initial touches.
Let's go, lads. Let's bind, please.
Newcastle shipped 10 penalties in the opening 3 rounds of Gallagher Premiership. Just over 3 per game at scrum time. It's been an area of some concern. Big day for that front row of Brocklebank, Blameyer and Palfreman against the heavy Sale pack.
Just whether Palfreman can get anything on McIntyre here to get his side up. McIntyre, really good scrummager. Did very well last week.
Far side.
Unfortunately, the far side, when we were wanting to look at this battle, is where the referee saw the problem was. Against James Harper. And this will now go in as close to the corner as possible. Bit of a tough angle to get too tight. Yeah, just see his feet slip away from behind him, but in the referee's assistant's mind, his feet are a little bit far back, which caused that.
First time Newcastle have been inside what we call the red zone, the opposition 22, converting only 16% of these territorial chances into tries this season. Lamire takes that one on the spin. Quick ball for the Falcons as they flood around the corner, and Philip van der Valts, the flame here bruiser, crawling into the 22. Hawkins next to carry. Cowan-Dickie fighting furiously. That's what he does all day. Stewart, Lamire, bit of footwork into Big Ben Bamber.
Needs to get that knee down.
Grayson calling for it, shoveling it on neatly to Ollie Spencer. England under-20 centre brought in to start today. Stewart, Van der Valts. Another touch for the big South African. Brocco Banks, never scored for Newcastle, played over 120 games for them. Yet to register a 5-pointer. Hutchison with a little step. Bamber another tackle. Stewart, Spencer cuffs it up. And that first foray into the Sale 22.
Crossfield kicks on here.
Use it, please.
Loads of space for Roebuck. Last defender's Blaymire at the minute.
That angle shows it.
Okay, use it, please.
Sale shaping for the box and for the pragmatic exit route from down in Coffin corner. Not a lot of distance on that one.
On the field, often seen as an extra coach, taking those duties tonight a little bit more seriously. Falcons will be happy with that last play though, although they spilt it, maintained that field position. Lots of good running intent from some of the forwards. Just need to try and tie in some of those blue shirts, give themselves an opportunity.
Lamire looking for Rubiolo. International access working well. Falcons beat only 11 defenders in that dismal loss at Leicester last weekend, averaging 10 tackle breaks a game and only 5 line breaks. They're grim, toothless attacking stats. Can they shift that dial a bit here? Cammy Hutchison again, driving forward, getting that knee to ground crucially. Stewart and Gordon. Dynamic summer signing from the Glasgow Warriors. Rubiolo. Both time Newcastle have gone beyond 5 phases in the opening dozen minutes. Stewart, Louis Brown loses it in contact. Another one turned over.
I think one of the problems that Newcastle are facing is the quality of their carrying isn't doing enough to stress the tacklers in front of them. So the first tackler is stopping the man dead, which means the second tackler in can be latched in straight over the ball. What they need to do is try and tie in a few more, because at the moment, every time they look up, there's a huge blue line in front of them, and they've got the defence have almost got more width than Newcastle.
Just looking at Sale, actually, it's meat and drink for them in the red zone. They tire sides out, but what they don't do, the transition's really slow for me. There's so many opportunities when instead of just focusing on the ball, walk and look wide, he can put that little kick in, but instead they slow everything down, they start again, they set for the box kick. But what that means is they never really get any territory in the game or any new opportunities. If he kicks that ball across to Roebuck there, he scores. No one stops him. Blaymire's not going to beat him even with a 30-metre head start.
Is that a symptom of them being too formulaic? Is it overcoaching?
I think a little bit, but also your halfbacks have to be opportunistic. They have to take those opportunities, and the mindset has to be immediately, right, where's the space, not where's the ball. We all know where the ball is. It's in the middle of the ruck.
We both need to bring our feet up the height. It's very slippy. Bring our feet up.
Just think Sale. Sorry, I think Sale could just be. They could have a little bit more. They've got so many good things about them. If they want to go a little bit further than they did last year, that's maybe just one component they can add to their game.
Might be a little bit about what I was talking about on the kicking strategy in the first couple of minutes, that maybe Alex Sanderson said, look, for the first 20, let's just not give Newcastle anything. Let's just make sure, you know, that ball's crossfield kick and it's miskicked, it goes into touch, you give Newcastle an opportunity. I could take Austin's point, you know, someone like Northampton definitely would have played that and would have tried with the crossfield kick and backed themselves.
They'll have a dig from deep here, and however not when Tom Roebuck's on the prowl, but the kick ricochets for Stevenson, who clings on as he hits the deck. Stewart now, more Falcons possession. Hardly had a sniff against Leicester, hardly made any kind of attacking inroads. Here's Grayson. Still no Brett Connon or Kieran Wilkinson available to Sale at the moment. And the penalty conceded.
Yeah, in inside, wasn't it, from Curry? They've actually looked after the Curry brothers relatively well. They've been hitting them early at rucks, not giving them too much opportunity and space over the ball. I think this is the right decision.
So he just comes right round that far side, doesn't he? Brocklebank comes in directly in line, might go off his feet, but we know that the attackers, as long as they're not sealing off, the referees don't really give that going off your feet, so you've got to come in directly behind the ball if you're Curry there.
Benny, when you're playing against two genetically identical jackal threats, how does that affect how you approach the breakdown?
I'm not sure I played against two genetically identical jackal threats. I played against two jackal threats. It does, because you end up, you know, when you're playing against a really good jackler, you'll train all week, someone will have a bib on and you'll mark them out of the game. When you've got two of them, if you over-resource one ruck to try and deal with that, that's when you get done at the second one. You know, very similar to when Australia had Pocock and Hooper. That was the big threat that they possessed, that they were waiting for you to take your eye off the ball, going after one of them, and then the other would pounce. So that's the huge threat. So it's just it's easy now when everyone's fresh. As soon as the lungs start, you know, affecting your decision making, that's when it becomes really, really difficult, and you switch off and these guys get into the game.
Are you ready?
Newcastle on the boards through Ethan Grayson. Tom Roebuck tearing again after this restart. Newcastle have it through Callum Chick. Prize, by the way, for 150 appearances for the Falcons is under Steve Diamond. You get a night out with Steve Diamond to a venue of Steve Diamond's choosing. I believe the local Irish pub was the bar of choice. Chicky and Dimes.
Yeah, he's overrun it and bumped him on the way through.
Again, Newcastle conceding a soft penalty on the kick chase.
Number 11, overrun.
Second prize, 2 nights out with Steve Diamond. Just overruns it, doesn't he? Accidentally collides.
Up on the 22, Jack. Number 11's overrun the ball.
Dupree's greatest ever kick. Pretty sure he hasn't deliberately kicked it out onto the 22 to give the backs a chance to attack rather than the forwards.
Your front man.
Sale have got the best line out in the Premiership so far, statistically speaking, operating at 97%. Scarcely lost one. Aaron Andrews calling them tonight. The big South African does his job.
Knock on, just a knock on.
And then Falcons' fingers coming through, disrupting Gus Warr. Knock on only is the call from Carl Dixon. Van Rijn, trainee pilots, sets it up. Tom Curry, wearing 8 today, but he'll pop up all over the pitch wherever there's a breakdown. There's Ben, Rob Dupree, Addison floats it wide, numbers down the short side. Aaron Andrews, what footwork from the big fella. Clever not to throw the offload as well, and that's given Roebuck the platform to burn within 5. Warr, Ben Curry pulling it back. Dupree
just needs to go wide.
Sale choose to go tight. Newcastle scream it's been held up, and it has. Chick and Blamire underneath it.
That is a butchered try from Sale. They'd done all the hard work. They'd got Newcastle's defensive line so narrow, the last defender was inside the posts, and they had Aaron Reid wide. As they come to this side, they do some really good work to make the break. As you said, great footwork from Andrews. The pick and go through the middle, that narrows up the defensive line even more. And as they come back now, Aaron Reid is walking in. If someone looks up a little bit wider and they make that kick out to the wide channel. That's the last defender, Radwan, there, who was inside both sets of posts.
It's been a problem for Sale this season, not converting as many of those chances as they should. Roughly 1 in 4. Aaron Reid throws a loose one. Cammy Hutchinson does some brilliant salvage work on the deck. A lot of numbers off to the right if Newcastle can get the ball moving. 5 on 2 there, they didn't give it. Sam Stewart instead looks for the 50-22. Gus Ward tracking back, and out it bounces.
Those messages now should be going on to Sale. A bit better from the Falcons there. So some good tackling to just take that momentum out, force the kick. But in terms of the Sale attack, those messages need to be going on that Newcastle are defending really, really narrow. And we know Sale's usual format of playing is not quite as wide as some teams, but as Austin was saying before, if a team is gifting you it, they're worried about your big carriers through the middle. You have to start going to those options so that they start opening up the gaps in the middle for your usual game plan.
I'm fine, mate. Yeah.
Once again, Sale losing the possession in territory battle as they did against Gloucester in that crazy game here a week ago. 44-minute ball in playtime, which is very, very high. Austin, what have you got for us?
Well, just the North used to pride itself on head-up back play rugby, seeing opportunities. This is a really bad example. You've got two forwards there carrying. Not one of them looks up or looks at the space. In fact, no one communicates to them to get the ball out. If they do, they've got four, and there's one on the outside, five, running at one defender because the last defender's a forward with his shoulders turned in. It's dull, head-down rugby from both teams at the minute, just trying to bash the life out of each other.
Space spotted down the blind side, though. Ben Curry dispatches Stewart, but won't get away from Van der Vaalt. Van Rijn.
Okay, use it now, please.
I do understand the counter-argument that a lot of maybe ex-forwards will be having on social media now, that you have to win the forward battle, you have to win the space, you have to win the gain line, but no gain line's worth more than space.
Blue ball, blue ball.
Sale have won that aerial duel again. A lot of space in the backfield. Bamber stacking wine crates and working on a building site a couple of years ago. He'd walked away from an academy deal at Bristol, wasn't enjoying rugby union, having grown up in league, but he's fought his way right back into the reckoning. Key member of that Sale pack now at 23 years old. Radwan, beautiful take, and he's out of the frying pan straight into the hot pan of curry.
Okay, use it now, please.
Stewart to the skies. Carpenter. Rudiola leading the charge for Newcastle. And Dupria. Up and under across the pitch. Newcastle's defence tested, but wonderful take from Sam Stewart, who was defending out wide. Lamire.
Okay, use it now, please.
24 league matches without a victory for Newcastle. They wait for a win away from Kingston Park even longer. November 2022 against Gloucester. The last win on the road. 700 days. Carpenter, that's magnificent. Over the top beautifully to Reid. 1-on-1 with Radwan. This will be interesting, and Reid makes it. It was the foot race we've dreamed of. Teed up by magnificence from Joe Carpenter. Reid's got himself a double.
Oh, fantastic from Carpenter on his 50th. A little bit of backspin on the ball as he drops it onto his toe. Just means that it dies and sits up perfectly for him. Looks like it's going to be the fullbacks, but he just continues to accelerate. And then as he pirouettes out of the tackle, to have the wherewithal to drop the ball over the top of the head of the next defender. Just watch this for an offload. Spin over Radwan's head, perfectly weighted, and then Reid just uses that fear from Radwan that he might get done on the outside to step back inside, and then he's always going to have the momentum regardless of who's quicker between them.
What was really nice for me about that was Carpenter's kick. It wasn't the best kick he's ever done, not the best he's ever seen, but he actually chases it so hard and commits to this 50-50. He gets through that, takes it, but then this double step, look, right foot first, left foot, and then he turns with the acceleration, like you said, Ben. Radwan's worried that he's going to go to the outside, so he takes one step further and allows that inside shoulder to open up. That is a brilliant finish. 1-0 Reid over Radwan.
The prize, by the way, for a Sale Sharks player who gets a hat-trick is a pair of Nike trainers bought for them by Alex Sanderson. He needs one more to get himself a fresh pair of kicks.
Okay, use it now, please.
They can be expensive them now as well, can't they?
Yeah, they can also be cheap, and knowing Alex Sanderson, I know which one you're going to get.
Okay, use it, please.
Do you know, he bought a pair of Nikes for Tom Roebuck last season when he got a hat-trick, and then got in trouble because Adidas are Alex Sanderson's sponsor. Other shoe brands are available. Here's Brown for the Falcons, described by Tom Curry, and then Cowan Dickey monsters that breakdown. Numbers here for Sale, Rob Duprea and Bedlow looking for space in behind.
No, it's not. It's taken back in. Yeah, all away.
Wouldn't have been a 50-22 anyway, but it's causing some havoc back there for Ethan Grayson, who's had to do the litter picking. Sale come tumbling into the breakdown.
Decision. Bedlow makes the tackle and then rolls over the top. Really good decision.
On the floor, then fell on the wrong side, which allowed the counter up.
Well, let's bring in the Newcastle Falcons Director of Rugby, Steve Diamond. Steve, what have you made of the opening quarter of this match?
Well, we've got plenty of possession, but we're not dealing with it very well. They've got a very tight defence between the 15-metre lines. We've been trying to attack there, and they're cleaning us up, and we're making errors. And we're kicking to their back three, who we know are electric. And Carpenter's just proven it there with a bit of skill and a great offload. So we've got to keep hold of some ball. When we are going to kick, we've got to do it on our terms. It's got to be finding grass, or it's got to be a real competition in the air.
You've spoken about simplifying the game plan after the Tigers game last weekend, Steve. What are we seeing from Newcastle to try and bring that plan to life?
Well, we're trying to get our forwards into the game, but sharing the loads with the backs, and moving it around in the midfield's good. But after 3 or 4 times, if we're getting nowhere against a defence like this, pushing off quickly, we've got to use our other tactics and get our kicking game into it to create some pressure. We've so far not done that.
Well, Steve, thank you very much. We'll leave you there just now. Thanks for your time as ever. A Cockerell in that rock that's going to undo Newcastle's momentum.
I think it's because Hutchinson gets so flat before his carry that the players coming out of the breakdown are a little bit compromised, and as soon as you let the Sale players over the top of the ball, as soon as you let a Curry over the top of the ball, the only way to shift him is probably going to be illegally and wrapping around the neck. Rubiolo just goes past him slightly too far, part round the body with a clock roll, but a certain twist. So this year, even if he's not touching the neck at all, if you make that twisting movement on the torso, that's a croc roll. That's banned this year, and that's why the penalty goes for Sale. Really good attacking position.
Both Curry boys already up to 8 tackles apiece in this opening half hour. Sale in the Newcastle 22 for the 4th time. Ben Bamber, tough man to stop, 6'9", close to 130 kilograms. War, Tom Curry, Luke Cowan Dickey. There's that close quarter bludgeoning game that Sale are so adept at utilising.
Look at the collision wins by Sale, though. That's a better shot from the Falcons.
War, Duprea, Carpenter lost it. Cammy Hutchison takes it back for Newcastle.
Knock on. Throw man. No, don't over the top there.
Falcons clinging on so far. But they've got a job on to extricate themselves from this sticky position down in their own 22.
Okay, use it now, please.
Having to make the most tackles on average in the Gallagher Premiership this season, which is no great surprise, but 160 odd per game, it's a lot.
It's the quality of the tackles that they need, though. They make a good shot initially on Cowan Dickey, but he manages to get going again. If they stop him there, the attack's pretty much over with, but he manages to get the leg drive, just keeps on another 2 metres. This one, though, is perfect. Big shot, second man in on the ball, so you can't get the offload away, and you take all the threat away.
Sale take the line out quickly. Bed low for Will Addison. Such a rotten time with injuries over the past few years. 2 years between matches with knee problems, an infection, a blood clot, and an IV drip in hospital over in Belfast, but he was playing with Ulster until this season. Here's Bedlow. Addison again to the line. Carpenter, slick handling. Is this the hat-trick? Reid against Radwan. Radwan went high and clattered into Aaron Reid's, then stole the ball, but illegally.
No, this man allowed you to get on the ball without the clear out. Not for me, because no one was there to play the ball. Not cynical, because no one was there to play the ball.
Well, Ward just checking why that wasn't looked at as a potential penalty try, but referee happy that it was just a penalty. Yeah, the man in front, he's absolutely right. But that step again, just causing Radwan a few problems at the moment. Radwan knows he's got the pace in a foot race, I think, but it's the threat of Reed's stepping. But another brilliant bit of play and handling from Carpenter. He's looking electric tonight, the Sale fullback.
Ben, the reason why
it's dangerous play though, isn't it, defensively, if you're not connected and you don't actually all drift, because Radwan does well on the outside. He doesn't bite in, he bites, he's backing off. But because they step in on the outside, they lose the extra man. If you just stay connected there, use the touchline, you don't concede the break down the channel. Just see him again, it is really nice hands, but look, they're just waiting. Someone's going to step out. Here he comes, he's out. Now we get the chance to go.
Timing's been okay, but just make sure
you can stop so many opportunities by not biting in. I think we've all seen it a number of times. It's not a bad decision if you bite in and get the ball, but I think the probability is the ball's going to beat you. Especially when the skill levels against you are like the ones this guy possesses.
Okay, are we good? 6? Okay,
was part of England's summer squads, didn't get a cap, but certainly knocking at Steve Borthwick's door, competing with the likes of George Furbank, Freddie Stewart for that 15 jersey over the coming seasons. Sale again camped on Newcastle's front lawn, and this Maul is on roller skates so far, crabbing their way infield. Cowan Dickey, did he ground it?
Hold.
If Callum Chick's held that up, he needs some medals.
So you're telling me that's a clear collapse by Gray. So without that going down by Gray, I believe Blue would have scored. So thinking penalty try. Have you got the number who took it down?
I believe it's 4, but
okay, Jacko, have you got the number there?
I thought it was 8, so let's just take a look.
Okay, just looks good. So we're just going to get the number. It's going to be a penalty
double
try
jeopardy.
And a yellow card.
If it's a yellow card and you can identify who the offence was by, it's an automatic. So if it's a penalty try, you have to give a yellow card if you can identify the culprit.
I think that's harsh, because I don't know whether Chick is over the line at that stage, in which case he can collapse
again.
Yes, that's 8 there on the goal line.
If his feet are over the line, he's over the line. Yeah, I think it's okay.
That's okay.
Thanks, mate.
It's gone.
Glitch laps before the line.
I don't think he did.
I think his right foot is over the goal line, and therefore he's in goal, so he can collapse.
Because you're right, Austin, as well. He actually ends up on the ball, so yeah, he doesn't agree with it.
So let's look at his right foot now. His
That's
left
Gordon.
foot.
Chick's
right,
there.
He's
now
fine.
He rolls. It's tight. It is tight.
His left foot's on the try line, which means he's in the goal. He's not happy.
Perplexed look on the face of Callum Chick, the Newcastle skipper, off for 10. His team 18 points down, and Sale 1 try from the bonus point.
I think the question there is when that left hip of Chick starts the movement of bringing it down, not when he actually drags it down. And this foot's actually sliding towards the line. It's in the field of play, but it's sliding. So it'd just be when that left hip starts to drop and starts the movement of pulling it over.
It's like giving a penalty, isn't it? Right on the edge of the box. Super close. Could go either way, either a free kick outside the box or nothing.
But it rains, it pours for Newcastle Falcons. Now Sale look to find space on the edge, and goodness me, that was a chance for Ben Stevenson, who rather like a rabbit in the headlights, not expecting that ball to be fizzed his way.
Would have been 21-10 that, which would have been a massive result for Newcastle, all things considered.
Easy now, please. Finds over.
Tester for Stewart. Robot gets through on it.
Knock on.
Free play for Newcastle this. Rubiolo gets rid of Andrews and burrows his way over halfway. Stewart, good catch from Blamire over his head, and then typical injection of verve from the Falcons hooker.
Finds over.
Stewart with a tester over his shoulder. Stevenson gives chase, but Carpenter again supreme in the air.
Let go,
Not the tallest, but
No.
boy, so impressive in those contestable duels.
Okay, use it, please.
Willie Brown coming forward at pace to collect. Neither team keen to shast their arm too much in this middle third of the pitch.
Now.
The shelling continues. Stewart, Stevenson after it. Carpenter once more. Confident, assured underneath it. War, this time they use Cowan-Dickey's bulk and Cowan-Dickey's footwork.
Yeah, use it, please.
Such height Gus Ward gets on those, that's his trademark. A little bit too far. Brown had not enough pressure on him from a Sale point of view. And Stevenson probing down that short side to Rubiolo. Played in big Puma's wings over all three of the Southern Hemisphere's giant opposition, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. Van der Vaart loses it in the tackle, and Sale will have the scrum. Ben, talk to us a bit about this kicking strategy. Why are we seeing so much of it in this part of the field?
Well, I think neither side really want the ball. They don't want to. They're trying to force an error that then they can play off. We said early on, Sale's strategy is not to give Newcastle anything cheap, so they don't want to risk turning over the ball in midfield and giving them an opportunity for a lightning back three to counter-attack, particularly with the likes of Radwan. So they're trying to force each other into making mistakes. It's not pretty watching at the moment, partly because the kicking the actual execution of the kicking is not fantastic. There's a few where it's not quite on the money. If you're going to kick and compete to try and get the ball back against a disrupted defensive line, you've got to make sure it's accurate enough that the boys can get up. It's a big loss for Sale there. Reed coming off, we saw him limping before. Addison goes out to the wing.
He's contributed handsomely to this first half performance already, but he will play no further part in this match. So Tom Curtis didn't get off the bench against Gloucester last week. He'll slide into that midfield. Looks like he's going to play at 10. Rob Duprea will shift out to 13, and as Ben says, Will Addison in the luminous yellow boots as we pan out wide to the right of your picture. You'll see him in a moment. There's Rob Duprea. He'll pop in at outside centre, where he often plays when George Ford is fit. Alex Anderson's had a bit to say about Tom Curtis as he's ready to step up, ready to run the show at 10 for Sale.
It's a nice situation to put him in on. 21-3 up. A lot of the game left to get some really good miles on the clock, but without that pressure of having to force an early score or force his team into the lead.
No.
Plenty of time for him to show Sanderson what he can do in a match environment.
Stewart really has thumped that into the Mancunian sky, and once again Joe Carpenter, king of the skies in Salford. Here's Curtis across the face to Bedlow, who throws the dummy and then looks for offloads. Such a physical, abrasive centre, Sam Bedlow. Was let go from the academy here at Sale, went to Bristol, then came back again. Ben Curry, globetrotter stuff for War. Where's that going? Rubiolo knocks it over his own line, and Hutchinson has to touch it down. It will be a scrum 5 to Sale.
He carried it over. Really good from Curry to spot. I think it was Hutchinson that had just had to move out of the ruck, so no one in front of him. He goes, gets the ball away to War. That's the clear out on Hutchinson, which takes him away, which means Curry can go straight through the middle. Hardest place to defend a break from is bang through the middle of a ruck, and that means War, if that goes straight rather than off the side of his boot, I think he's running onto that, but Rubiolo comes over and does enough. Hutchinson gets back, but unfortunately for the Falcons, slides over the 5, so Gus War will get another opportunity to stick the ball in at the scrum.
From you guys.
Come on, let's do it.
What are you looking at here, Ben? What kind of an attacking ploy would you have up your sleeve? Do you go for them at scrum time, or do you try and use that
First
extra
off,
man?
yes. Partly because even if you don't get them going, to get that right shoulder up, get Harper up on your tight head side, take the back row away, and Curry can potentially break. They've won the penalty, they've got a free shot, so he'll flick it up and they'll play.
Ward to Addison, punching straight through the middle. That's the bonus points. And fittingly, it's one of Sale's longest serving players who brings it up. Will Addison, the try scorer. Sale cruising.
That's a really tight attack from Sale, and it's just about flat decoy runners, not a particularly complicated move, just that flat decoy runner and then the ball in behind. So get that first defender to step on the decoy, and then actually as the player tries to get back out, he bumps into another Sale player, and that just gives Addison enough momentum to get himself over the line.
Left Sale a few years ago to chase his dream of playing for Ireland, Will Addison. He achieved that. He played for Ulster, won his Ireland caps. Alex Sanderson has brought him home. Dupree knocks over the extras, 28 points to 3.
It's a good shot there, but you just see Hutchinson there just catching the Sale player on the decoy line. Just puts him off momentarily, and that means that when he gets there to make the tackle, Addison's got all the momentum.
Yeah, I'm just re-emphasising what you said, Benny. It's a simple overs play. You've got Bedlow and Hutchinson there, and all he does is catch his inside shoulder. But to be fair, the outside defender should read, step in a little bit earlier. It's not really his man. He's just got to be there to help, and unfortunately, he wasn't. Well executed try from Sale from another entry into the red zone.
Louis Brown scored his first Newcastle try on this venue last season. Falcons were much more competitive that evening than it has proven tonight so far.
Yep.
This is concerning, isn't it, if you're a Falcons fan? What we saw last week was a Leicester Tigers team playing at 50–60% of their capacity, and we've seen exactly the same tonight. Sale haven't been at their best, but they haven't had to be. Space is just offered to them, opportunity on the gain line. Defensively, the first fix for Steve Diamond has to be to tighten up that defence and make sure people aren't giving easy line breaks, which is what they've done all evening so far.
It's near the game Steve Diamond has taken personal responsibility for as well. Scott Baldwin, last season's defence coach, departed the club over summer, and Steve Diamond took on that particular coaching role.
Thank you.
And as he chows down on whatever it was he was masticating over in the...
One of those toffees you can't get rid of.
Gobstopper by the looks of things. Couple of minutes left in the first half. Sale utterly dominant. And Ben Bamber has got his anaconda-like arms through the middle of that maul and made life awful for the Newcastle pack.
Ball comes out.
Anaconda's got arms? Well, sure they do.
Run into your elbows.
Evolutionary biology is not my strong point.
Stop using that
It's about a
nickname.
minute and 23 seconds. Put it. 23.
Have they got legs?
Anyway, 28-3, Sale Newcastle.
Newcastle being suffocated, much like an
It was
anaconda.
absolutely fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, okay, thanks.
Right, no more animal analogies for the rest of this one.
Bring Chick back on then.
Let's go.
Aside from defence, Oz, we switch our attentions from animals back to rugby. What practical steps can Newcastle take to prove more of a threat? They've had a lot of ball, they've not done much with it.
I think simply what Steve Diamond's been trying to do is play a wrap game, and they played the wrap quite well. They got into good positions. They just got the energy and power to keep going.
And they've coughed up another line-out ball. It's been one of their many deficiencies this season, poorest statistically in the Prem. And Sale looking to add a fifth before the interval. Bamber Curtis, Si McIntyre.
No, 50-22.
War looking to chase Stevenson back, and he's lost it forwards. And he's lost his footing. Nothing is going right for Falcons, and the only saving grace is that time was up. That rather sums things up for Newcastle in what has been a torrid first half for them. That losing streak, as things stand, certainly being extended. Sale have a bonus point in the bag. They lead Newcastle at half-time by 28 points to 3. Thank you very much, Orla. Let's head straight down pitch side, shall we? Because the Sale Sharks director of rugby, Al Sanderson, has joined us fresh out of the sheds. Al, peel back the curtain in that Sale change room, if you will. What happened at half-time? What were the key messages?
You don't want to go in all singing, all dancing because of some of the outcomes that we've had in the first half. I mean, look, we're really happy with certain aspects of our game, but we just tried to simplify it in terms of the decision-making around the middle of the field, making sure that we keep making good decisions just because we're looking like we're attacking well, and the possibility of them running more. I thought they would run more in that first half, so you know, we're trying to limit their running game, bring them to the fight in terms of contestable kicks, keep them within the 15s and keep the ball out of the hands of some of their real X-factor players in the wide channels, and then put to them what kind of team they want to be. You know, too often you can go in 25 points up and just let another team back in, and we talked about being ruthless with it this second half, so you know, I hope they live up to the words.
Well, you've got Paul's on board just now, Alex. Talk us through this. What do you want to see here?
A try, be nice.
How's it going to happen?
Well, I mean, it's about keeping ball quick, as we have done in that first half. You know, wearing some bruises if we have to, like on this tackle here, we're a little bit high and perhaps ramp up enough. We spoke about not playing out the back too much with them because it just brings them on in terms of line speed. Yeah, and then being patient once we get into the 22. You know, we had one occasion, I think, where Tom Roebuck got his hands through and looked for the offload, and we think if we're keeping the ball quick and retaining possession, then we should be converting.
You already seem to be playing a little bit wider off Tom Curtis rather than forwards off the base. Has that been something you spoke about?
That's just Tom Curtis for you.
Still playing advantage.
Just wants the ball through his hands a little bit more. He hasn't seen much rugby action start this season, so I think he's enjoying himself out there. But I mean, this is what we talked about, not having turnovers, needless turnovers in and around the middle of the field, because they're dangerous in the back three, as we know. So just making sure we're making good decisions on the ball, making sure we're making good decisions in the middle of the field.
Just before we let you go, Alex, how's Alan Reid?
He's a thoroughbred, isn't he? Like he's got a hit pointer, which most players would just shrug off, but because he's so finely tuned, it affects his 10 seconds per 100 metre running rate. So we'll just put him back in the stable, look after him, make sure he's all right for next week, all being well. We've got Saints next week, haven't we?
Yeah, well, these high pedigreed thoroughbreds need a lot of looking after, don't they?
Highly strung thoroughbreds.
Well, he's done his job for you tonight. Thank you so much.
He was great. And I've also got like a little, you know, kind of side bet that if he scores 3 tries, I've got to buy him some trainers, so I've saved myself a few quid there.
Do you know, we were talking about that earlier on. Al, you had to fork out for Tom Roebuck last season. Is it a pair of Air Maxes if Reid had got his hat-trick?
No, because I'm with Adidas now, so it'll definitely be,
yeah,
it'll be something Adidas. You can say that, I'm not on BBC.
Good man. Thank you so much for your time, and yeah, you can rest easy. Your wallet's not going to be troubled tonight by the looks of things.
All right. Cheers, guys.
See, that's what I like. You know, when people have endorsement deals and they barely mention it. He said the name of the company 5 times there. Brilliant. I think when he was going through that movement, we saw that they haven't particularly listened to him at half-time because they were playing a lot out the back. He said they've talked about not doing that. But equally, lots of little passing, short passing, which, because you're expecting big carriers from Sale,
22,
it really works. If you get that balance right of when you carry and when you actually get the passing, it really works. I think what he'll be worried about is, particularly in the first 10 minutes of this half, the game loosening up, which sort of plays into the hands of a team that's chasing the game. They want a wide open game with lots of errors that they can capitalise on. So that's why he wants them just to keep a lid on it for the first 10. The players are thinking different.
Penalty Newcastle, Tom Curtis offside, and Louis Brown
22's in front, never
drilling that
retreated.
one into the Sale 22. How they need a foothold in this game, how they need something to cling to build from. 3 tries in 3 Premiership matches so far, and a bleak picture of their cutting edge when they get to this part of the pitch. 2 visits, no points.
Rubiolo in midfield here, he's got to be a target for them, you'd think.
Blamire peeling off, and the pass doesn't go to hand. It squirts out of the fingers of Jamie Blamire. Gordon wins it back. Sale take the penalty.
Number 10. Number 10, straight off his feet.
Boys, I'm asking the wrong people because you played in such successful teams over the years. You've won so many trophies and medals, but what must it be like to be a Newcastle player right now?
I think the hardest thing for them is to not accept it. Because when you've gone for as long as they have without a win, it almost becomes the norm. So, you know, you turn up on a Monday, and usually when you're playing, you're so disappointed because you've lost a game, but this is their normal for them, and how do they get out of that? It is very, very soul-destroying.
Sale looking to inflict more pain. Bedlow ruptures them through the middle. The hands are slick. Roebuck 1v1. What a step! Sends Ben Stevenson halfway back to Newcastle. Tom Roebuck, predatory. Sale ruthless.
Well, it's an amazing finish at the end, but beautifully created in the midfield by the pass from Dupree. But lovely little break, just that right foot step and accelerate out the back door, and then that pass over the top. Absolutely stunning. It's Ben Curry, it's not Dupree. There's the break from Bedlow, out the back door. Curry's on his shoulder, but rather than head down, he realises the wide player's closing on him, throws it over the top, and to be fair to Stevenson, because he's so out of position and has to race over to that side, he has to overshow his hand, and the timing of the step from Roebuck perfect. Pretty much aces him.
How good's the pass? That's a dream as a winger. You don't think you're getting that. You see a forward who's known for his power game throw a left-hander 25 metres right into your path. That was wonderful.
Beautiful strike from Rob Dupree. Kicking wonderfully, and Sale playing some beautiful rugby, Austin.
Well, this is a story. Look how well connected they are, Newcastle in the midfield, but the moment you drop off a one-on-one tackle, that's an easy tackle, and you get broken through the middle, you're going to concede 7 points. Yes, it took a wonderful pass. And look at his body shape, left foot on the floor, gives him the purchase to throw it off the left hand, over the top, great finish from Roebuck. But they missed so many tackles last week, I think 28 was it? And how many have they missed today? I'll add them up in a sec, but a lot. And that's the story of their season so far. Their attack's not actually that bad, but their defence is woeful.
They've been pulled from left to right, side to side, coast to coast.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Roebuck again dominating Stevenson, this time in the air. Sale smell blood. Wars kick half charge. Sam Stewart gobbles it up, and he's kicked on for young Ollie Spencer to chase. Cross comes Curtis to cover, and he spooned it back down the tram lines. Grayson on the slide. That looked good. So did that pass. Brown. They want to get that ball to Radwan. Scarcely touched it. Only the 4th time in the match he's had his mitts on it. Palfreman, South African tight head prop. Still no Eduardo Bescio, the Pumas front liner in the Newcastle front row. Nursing an ACL injury, he'll be out for a while yet. Possibly another 5 or 6 months, Steve Diamond reckons.
Roll.
Penalty advantage Newcastle. Hutchison. Grayson had to shovel that on awkwardly. And Blamire one-handed.
We've just been raving about Ben Curry's passing game. Watch his work rate here. You can see number 7 by the referee. Charge down. And then look at the foot race. He's up against Ollie Spencer. He's not losing any ground to him. And then the kick. Oh, I better get up and chase that kick, put everyone on side. He's the next back. Huge work rate from your back row, puts all his forwards onside. Otherwise, they would have had to keep going back until someone put them on.
Big numbers as usual from Sale's captain, back from that head injury suffered against Saracens. Missed the round 3 win over Gloucester, but there you are, dozen tackles, 9 carries, and a beautiful try assist as well.
It's a slow walk in from Newcastle. They just need some accuracy here. Haven't had that when they've been down in this area of the field. Starts with this drill and the throw from Bumaya.
They've done the first part of the job. Off the top from Chick. Hutchison, route 1, slipping tackles, sliding up to the line. Held just short, but penalty advantage. Might be more punishment coming.
That's the try.
But they're over, they've got the try. Newcastle finally have something, and Callum Chick, who else, is over.
A yellow card as well, I think, to Cowan Dickey. It was him that slid in and prevented the ball coming back. Did wonder whether they'd lost control of the ball as they went over the line. And I wondered whether the try being scored might stop Cowan Dickey being yellow carded, but it hasn't. Good decision from Carl Dixon, because I think, yeah, it comes in from the side and then blocks the ball. So definite yellow card, really good decision. And then let's just have a look as he goes over the line. Just keeps it under his torso, doesn't he? Regardless of whether the hands start to lose control, the ball's put down by the body.
Ethan Grayson chips over the conversion. 35 points to 10. Newcastle, after close to 50 minutes, have a try. And Kevin Dickey warming his heels on the naughty step.
Sale trying to take that little spike in adrenaline from Newcastle out of them by walking it back. Obviously, the yellow card clock is still kicking down. Newcastle need to capitalise on this now, get some field position, man advantage.
Here's Chick.
Tackle, release.
Born and bred a Newcastle Falcon. His dad played for the club. Gosforth, they recall, back then. Got them promoted up to the top flight in the early 90s.
Sam, now please.
He's yet to win a Premiership match as Newcastle captain. Here's Curtis.
Come out, keep coming.
Stewart coming forward, colliding with Carpenter. Shoveling it back to Adam Brocklebank.
Okay, use it please.
Carpenter losing that one in the air. A lot of bodies in front of him as he rolls to try and claim it.
Stevenson did well there, had to break through a brick wall in front of him to get in on the ball, and just did enough to put Carpenter off.
Advantage over now.
Grayson, Chick from a standing start running into Ernst van Rijn. Not a man you want to run into. Top dominant tackler in last year's Premiership. Grayson pops it down the middle. And Curtis will look to bring this back for Sale. Cute little grubber in behind Radwan. Grayson off his bootlaces, but he's met with a big Mancunian welcome. Dragged towards the touchline.
Okay, use it please.
Sale making life very unpleasant for Sam Stewart around those breakdowns tonight.
Okay, use it now please. Stop.
Kicking duel continues. Carpenter took that and met almost instantaneously as he hit the deck. Van Rijn. Sale typically don't play an awful lot of rugby in this part of the pitch. This is where they look to use Gus Ward's box kicking, the aerial threat of their powerful back three, to gain the territory they seek. Chick once again for Newcastle.
Yeah, use it.
This time they're going to give it some air. Grayson, Hutchison, not enough on outside him. Curry boys hunting. It's Tom whose paws are on it, but had a couple of bites at that one. Ordered off it.
The Sale tactics worked perfectly, didn't they? Frustrate Newcastle. Get that kicking game, the kicking back there. You keep kicking it to us, we'll keep kicking it back. You've got to play from your own 22. As soon as they play, they catch him, force the error, and then force the penalty.
Newcastle have conceded 7 penalties tonight, 6 of them coming at that breakdown. Is that the influence, even the presence of the Curry brothers, even if they're not directly involved in every one of them?
His hand under the ball, hasn't he? And Pulverman comes in from the side, hand under the ball, clear release. But because he's got the hand on the ball carrier feels he has to keep the leg drive going, has to keep going, which takes him further and further away from his support, makes it more difficult to clear out. Then Curry waits for him to drop and clamps on the ball, and Pulverman has to come in from the side.
Newcastle were averaging 14 points scored a game last season. They're worse off this time around. 3 against Bristol, 14 against Quins, 10 against Leicester, 10 here tonight. Grim, grim numbers. Tom Curtis winds down the clock and adds some more gloss to the Sale scoreline. 38-10. Steve Diamond has changed both of his props on Cumberland De Bruyne and Murray McCallum for Adam Brocklebank and Richard Palfreman. There is big Murray McCallum, big bloke from Fife in central Scotland, playing both sides of the scrum, as we said, and tight head. Newcastle staring again at another heavy defeat, another morale sapping loss.
Yeah, use it, please. Okay, let go, let go.
Up it goes from War. It's a meaty old collision. Louis Brown up there. Addison too. It's the Sale man who wins it. And War will chase Newcastle back and back and back. Grayson doing the covering.
Keep coming. Advantage, winger, offside.
Ollie Spencer's offside, so a free play for Sale. Carpenter.
Advantage, winger offside, never retreated.
War. Little kick over the top for Cy McIntyre, of all people to chase.
Offside, this man here, never retreated. Move forward. Cut the options. 13. Similar to there, 22 in front, never retreated.
Just a nice little gift, isn't it? It's too many of those. It was always going to be a challenge for Newcastle Falcons tonight. Again, a little bit like last week against Leicester, they've just gifted too many opportunities. Haven't created an awful lot themselves, but gifted far too much back to Sale.
Just saying about what can Newcastle do, let's take some positives. I thought the try they scored was as good as you see from first phase. You've got Stewart there at the front, so what that means is he gets in loads of motion for the pass, gives some brilliant width, great ball off the top. He throws that ball from the 15-metre line, another 15-metre into Hutchinson, who picks a really nice line to the outside, and then we know what happened. So you said, what can you do as a Newcastle player? You take a little bit of positives, little wins here and there. That's a really good try to score against Sale, where defensively they've been historically very, very strong. So start with that. That's good. Defensively, don't miss as many tackles. So little wins, get day by day in training, in analysis and everything, and slowly you build towards your first win. We can't keep bashing them because they can only do what they can do.
Yeah.
Kevin Dickey in the bin. Ethan Kane, wearing jersey 16, has been brought on to throw into this line out. Bamber tapping it back. Ben Curry mops it up.
Not off your feet, not off your feet.
Roebuck. Ben Curry. War, they sweep around to the short side. Curtis, Bedlow, gaping chasm for Bedlow. Inside to War, scrapped by Van der Veld, but not held. Sale crying for a high tackle. Carl Dixon happy. It was just low enough.
I totally agree.
Being pulled down.
Sale burrowing in around the breakdown. Bamber is in there. Kane is in there.
Hands and feet.
Harper waits. Locks and loads with Bamber. That's close to a quarter ton of northern muscle. Ready to drive. Bamber goes on his own. Running laterally, then stretching. War. Curtis. Dupria. Oh, there's a Newcastle hand in there.
Just tell me if it's deliberate or not.
Need to ascertain whether that was just a knock-on or something more sinister. Gus War keeps it playing.
Didn't he? His arm was fully stretched in the tackle.
That was good. We've got a knock-on. Is anything clear? No. All I have is a knock-on at this moment in time. Have we got anything else? Right. Come on.
I think there's enough. He can have his arm out if he's swinging into the tackle. He knows, as Austin said, he knows exactly what he's doing,
All I have is a knock-on.
but it's not unnatural enough to say that wasn't part of the tackle.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Ready? Let's go.
Part of the problem is for Newcastle, they're seeing a lot of Radwan grinning and getting involved in defence. What they're not doing and what they haven't done, Ben, is give him a platform to do something ball in hand.
Sale have been good at not giving him anything loose as well. But that is the huge concern. And I guess,
Anyone else?
is he spending too much time on the wing? Do you need to start bringing him off the wing? Floating in and around off the shoulder of 10, a little bit like we saw Sale's last break, that little shoulder ball. Radwan in those positions would be lethal.
So McIntyre's race is run, he'll come off and on will come Tumi Onisanya, Ashirapoku Forger for Harper, and perhaps the most high-profile substitute of the night, the man in the back row, Daniel Dupria, hasn't played since being stretchered off in January, and you can hear just what the Salford Community Stadium makes of that. The big dogs are returning to the fray in Salford, and that usually means a whole lot of pain for whoever has come up to challenge them.
What's the odds that he just picks it up straight from the base now and charges straight through the defence and then through the stand into the car park?
Bind! Set! No, there's the... Whoa, 70. It's your first scrum.
If you're an attacking player here, Austin, what are you thinking?
Well, first and foremost, I want the scrum to go up on the right side. If you can get it up on the right-hand side, anything's possible. But then equally, they've already stacked that with 3 defenders, Newcastle, so you might fancy your chances against 2 if you can get a flat pass away from the base. There's just so many opportunities from midfield scrum, but first off, you need a nice, tidy ball, nice, tidy base.
Bind! Set!
Interesting decision here for Sale. Going to go for the corner
17.
off that scrum penalty.
Six, 7 metres off the line here.
Your head's below your hips. Sale 5. 5 Sale.
Bit of
5 Sale.
fresh power in that Sale pack. Shortened it down to a 5-man line-out.
Sale, by the way, back to their full 15-man complement. Kevin Dickey's sin-bin period is over. They haven't reintroduced him, but they have brought on the Duprias and the Kanes and all the rest of the heavies. And the latest to join them will be Josh Beaumont, one of their long-standing second rows. He's on for Andrews. Dan Dupria collects.
Ball.
And the Salford Community Stadium expects only one outcome.
Okay. Take it away now, please.
Good defence from Falcons.
Gus War with the pump and then the rip pass in Bedlow. Just trying to force that behind the player to Rob Dupria.
It's a knock-on advantage.
Well, Sale were down to 14, by the way. The aggregate score, Sale 3, Newcastle 0.
Make sure you step now, please. Thanks. Okay,
Newcastle
use it now,
scarcely had
please.
an attack to speak of since Kalinchik
Let's go now.
and their only try of the night. Young Joe Davis, the 18-year-old, with an assured clearance. He's being coached by his former school teacher right now, Joe Davis, Lee Dixon, brother of referee tonight, Carl, once of Northampton in England, part of Steve Diamond's coaching staff, coached Joe Davis all the way through at Barnard Castle School, which has sparked a few England careers over the years. Joe Davis hopeful his will be the next. Newcastle can't go direct to touch here, and they have. And Sale can put them in the thumb screws again here. Steve Diamond very excited about Joe Davis, as he is the youngest player in the squad. He was on the tea duties for the away day bus trips back to Kingston Park. His parents were actually on holiday in Ibiza when he made his debut at the start of the season off the bench against Bristol. Didn't know he was playing, he certainly wasn't expecting it, but he's been given his opportunities early in the campaign. Part of Newcastle's raison d'etre and seasons to be will be developing those young players, bringing them through, trying to build that sustainable platform. But in the interim period, it makes for some very, very tough days, and this has certainly been another one of them.
There's a lot of good talent up there, a lot of good rugby clubs, local clubs, good competition.
Difficult after a big loss at home, where you haven't performed, to then come away somewhere like this, which is, you know, a lot of teams struggle to come here, don't they? But haven't really fired a shot apart from the try.
Well,
the next job is to try and just get some form of making Kingston Park a difficult place to go and play again.
Let's go. Square on the hit.
Well, there's the Gallagher Premiership's
Above our hits.
derby weekend here on TNT Sports. Every match exclusively live. So many mouth-watering encounters starting tomorrow at Kingsholm, Gloucester Bath. Then we zip down to Sandy Park, Exeter against the Bristol Bears, Leicester Northampton and East Midlands cracker. We've got a PWR game in there as well. Ealing Trailfinders against Loughborough Lightning to kick us off on Sunday, before Harlequins and Saracens round off the live action. And Harlequins coach Nick Evans will be our guest on the Rugby Review after the conclusion of that match. You can get your questions in for Nick, by the way, using our various social media channels. And it's not just rugby we've got for you this weekend as well. Tomorrow from 1 p.m. TNT Sports 2, the 37th America's Cup starts in Barcelona. Sir Ben Ainsley's Ineos Britannia taking on Emirates Team New Zealand. 1 p.m. coverage begins on 2 and Discovery Plus.
Bind. Set.
Can Newcastle fire some attacking shots in the last quarter of an hour of this Northern showdown?
No hands.
Davis sniping, introducing Van der Waals. He's been a tireless workhorse today. 8 carries, 13 tackles for the big fella. Rubiolo.
No, it's not. Thanks, use it.
Hawkins scored his first professional try down at Harlequins a couple of weeks ago. Grayson standing deep in the pocket. He'll hoof this across the park for Stevenson to get after. Ward, he's juggled it and he's hit the deck, and Stevenson has ransacked him.
Okay.
Fun rain. Middle of last season, the Sale coaches asked their players to write down what they'd want a newspaper headline to say about them. Ernest Van Rijn wrote down hardest working player in the Premiership, which frequently gets brought up at training. Louis Brown again. He's been a pretty safe presence under those Sale bombardments. Hawkins. Davis sniped and then had to kick because Onasanya was waiting. Carpenter under pressure from Davis. It's a little bit of spark applied by the teenager.
want to look at this last start to play from Falcons. They're sort of running through. When you're lacking in confidence, you go through the motions a bit. Look how laboured it is. It's probably about 90%, so it does nothing to disrupt the defensive line. And that means that the outside player can fly up and close off the long pass in the breakdown. If you run that just 10% quicker, you start making players in front of you hesitate. And that creates opportunity, creates dog legs. But at the moment, it's just so easy for those Sale defenders to read what's happening. You've got to really be confrontational, go at the opposition, and then they start to make mistakes and one player will fly out of the line and create an opportunity for you.
13 blue still on the field here.
13 blue. 13.
Some logistics to sort out down below us. Will Addison's not supposed to be on the pitch, and it's hard to hide when you're sporting luminous green boots.
Maybe.
And off he trots.
Let's go. Time back.
There they are. You've got to be good to wear a pair of those. Will Addison certainly lives up to the billing. Loose line out. Kane hoovers it up, and Ben Curry takes it straight up the guts, carrying bodies up to the 10. War. Curtis, it's on out wide. Dupree bats it on neatly, and Roebuck's off his wing, working hard. Curtis, Bamber, pulling it back for Bedlow. It's just gone in front of Rob Dupree, and he takes it off the deck and gets going again, and then loses it. And Joe Davis, he's got wheels. Van Rijn coming across, and Ben Curry, the omnipotent Ben Curry, with the cover tackle. Rubiolo isolated on his own, and he's easy meat for the Sharks, who are feasting.
That's a frustrated player trying to make an impact in the game, but look, there's no one with him. There's the error. They get through very quickly. Poor pass here. Oh, he actually just loses it as he goes down, doesn't he? Good pace, as you said, but then as Rubiolo picks up, there's no one anywhere to be seen. He runs straight into 4 Sale players, and McIntyre can just bide his time, get his hands on the board, make an attempt to lift it. Referee's got no choice but to give the penalty.
Sale 4.
There's Sam Dugdale, 32 tackles he made last weekend against Gloucester. So busy, Sale having to make 281 of them in total, by the way. 12 of their starting 15 into double figures. Ben Bamber off, so Ernst van Rijn right on cue. Shunted forwards into the second row. Ben Curry opening doors and then finding Kane, who looks to grubber it through for Roebuck. And don't we all wish that had stayed on the park?
Really do. That would have been a lovely try, wouldn't it, off the back of the line out. Nice little carry. He's looking good, isn't he, Ben Curry, tonight?
Use the edge.
The options to the pass. Look how quickly Roebuck reacts to get on his shoulder. Maybe could have thrown the ball.
More fun to kick it.
Doesn't look, though.
Come on.
He just knows.
Well, he just feels that the kick's the right option.
There's a frustrated kicker lurking within a lot of tight 5 forwards, I suspect.
It's all John Eales' fault.
Tommy Gordon. Oof, that's a heavy collision. Welcome to the match, Sam Dugdale.
Okay, use it now, please.
Careful to wrap there.
No, not now.
Roebuck from a standing start took it, then got taken. But Sale have bossed those high ball exchanges all evening. Curtis, Carpenter's looking for this up the inside. Where's the bounce going? Bedlow on hand as well. He lost it forwards, and little Joe Davis looking to spark something, and right as advantage is called over, Sale snaffle it back. It's Dupree palming aside Falcons.
You pulled him there.
Here they come again, charging over the 5. Ben Curry, Van Rijn, Salford's lungs, loud and proud.
Hands and feet.
Opoku Forjur looking for his first Premiership try. Dan Dupree. This is where he can cause a lot of damage. Instead finds Curry. Dupree again. There's that leg drive and that oomph. Dugdale's in there. War flipping his cattle around. He wants the forwards to come off themselves on that right hand side. Here's Dan Dupree. Ouch. War. Ben Curry. Tommy Gordon drags down his opposite man. Dozen phases here for Sale. Opoku Forjur.
What's it?
Ben Curry's down and hurt off the ball. Away to the right, out of picture. Gingerly getting back to his feet. There he is. Bottom of your picture, bottom right. Sale continuing to batter away at this Newcastle threshold. Be some bruised Falcons bodies out there. Beaumont's. Good shot coming in from Chick. Lined up Josh Beaumont. Dupree sticks it on the toe. Roebuck will rise. He'll take sensationally and score. King of the skies and Sale, king of the north.
Well, we spotted early on in the game how narrow Newcastle are, which makes the last defender's job on the crossfield kick almost impossible. But how about this take? A long way to travel, but Roebuck gets up early, uses his left shoulder to block any attempt to get to the ball. And then not only does he come down with it, but lands in a way that allows him to get back to his feet and just get back and up and over the line before the cavalry arrive for the Falcons.
Brilliant shots from the Cinecam in the in-goal area, bringing you right into the heart of the action, like no other on TNT Sports. Tom Roebuck, a double tonight, a double against Gloucester. One more try for those coveted Alex Sanderson trainers. Kick drifts wide from Tom Curtis, but tell you what, let's bring in the Sale Sharks playmaker George Ford, shall we? George, you're out injured at the moment. Are you a frustrated rugby watcher, or do you quite enjoy being up there with a bird's eye view?
No, I'd always like to be playing, obviously, but obviously when you can't, you try and influence and be as part of it as much as you can, so I'm enjoying this side of it, but yeah, looking forward to getting back out there as well. Talk
to us a bit about Tom Roebuck. He's been terrific 2 weeks running. He's big, he's powerful, he's great in the air. He had such a serrated edge to your attack.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. As of the other back three, Reedy and Carps, Tom O'Flaherty, we put a lot of emphasis on them to make things happen for us. I think that's one of the most crucial positions to be a good attacking side, is for them guys to exploit space, spot space and get their hands on the ball, and they've been brilliant at that.
Just talk to us a little, George, about what a week looks like for an injured player. I know you're known as an on-field coach. Are you in around the environment? Are you driving things even though you're not able to play?
Yeah, for sure. Look, your days are probably a little bit longer. You're in earlier doing your own stuff, your rehab stuff. You're doing everything you can to try and get back out on the field yourself, but you make sure you're in every meeting still, out on the field, trying to influence as much as I can, like I said. And yeah, no, it's been good. I've really enjoyed it. Some big games looming large for club and for country. George, how's that injury bearing up? When can we expect to see you back out there? No, yeah, it's going really well. I think it'll be a couple of weeks, maybe even quicker than that. So yeah, we'll take it day by day, but looking forward to it. Good man, George. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it as always. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Okay. Thanks, mate.
Just one thing I've noticed, probably over the first few weeks of the Premiership, is the referees seem to be a little bit more lax this season on the clear-out players going into the breakdown. We're seeing a lot of people go off their feet, latching on, that second player latching on and going off their feet. And the players cotton on to that. So they know that Carl Dixon today has been letting players get away with it, so they're going to do it. So when Sale were camped down on Newcastle's line before that Roebuck try, there were loads and loads of breakdowns where Newcastle just couldn't even get a shot at the ball to compete. So getting into the red zone is a big part of scoring in this game, and Newcastle just haven't been down here enough and held onto the ball enough.
Fifth time they've been down here, just the one score to show for it, and they're not going to come up with anything this time. Austin, you've been taking a closer look at this.
Well, I just think it's a really good example to show for kids at home how to actually gather your feet. So if you watch Roebuck on the outside, he's got loads of time. But watch what he does with his feet. Loads of little small strides, little step, 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 and then one outside knee to get the height. So he finds himself in a good jump zone, and not too far away from the ball, but then uses that inside leg, a little bit like the high jumper, trying to get over the bar. Really good example that for any winger, or in fact anyone finds himself in that wide channel. You've got to gather your feet before you try and get some height.
Where would he rank in the pecking order for England wingers, Oz?
I think he's up there. I think there's a lot of competition, but I think he's very much, if you want to play a kicking game, there's not many better than with a high ball.
17. Lost his feet. 17, lost his feet. That's where you are.
Newcastle with a tap on the trundle into the final 4 minutes. Looking for an elusive second try, looking for something to potentially end this note with a little small but important note of positivity.
Hands and feet.
Here's Chick, tireless to the last. That's his 10th carry of the night. Davis, Grayson standing deep, faked the kick, and inside for Jack Metcalf, the debutant. Once a Sale Sharks man. Hutchison, he's been busy too. That's his 11th carry. Davis. Again, the batter on again. Freddie Lockwood makes good headway. Hutchison. Davis went blind. Louis Brown. Van Rijn there to splat him into the mud. Here's Adam Scott, the young lock forward, off the bench. Got a full minute of bludgeoning and battering and buffeting. Can they find that incision they need? Lockwood again. Good carry from him. De Bruyne chopped low, the South African, his legs going furiously, but they're going nowhere. And Spencer loses it through the shoulder. And Sale have it back. And Tom Roebuck doing his best up. Sale having soaked up all those punches, having taken the sting of another fruitless Newcastle attack. They'll just calm the tempo down. War to touchline, and Ben, your Gallagher Premiership Player of the Match.
I thought Luke Cowan-Dickey had a really good game while he was on the field. Great to see him coming back to his best in time for the international season. Ben Curry was outstanding again. We know the work rate that he gives, but both sides of the ball, is carrying, is chasing back. But for me, on his 50th cap for Sale, Joe Carpenter has been outstanding. We've seen some unbelievable takes under the high ball and some unbelievable handling, which has been a big part of Sale's attacking prowess tonight. So he's our Gallagher Premiership Player of the Match.
Go! Stand back on.
He and Tom Roebuck used to share a flat until the lease got a bit expensive and they decided to move back in with their parents. Do you reckon Ben Curry thought he was getting the man of the match award, Ben? Yeah. It's giving some filthy side-eye to that camera as we panned along the dugout there. Not this week, Ben. He played well.
Off his knee.
Joe Davis hot-stepping through the bruisers. Spencer. McCallum. Reverse lights flashing. Hutchison, Grayson, again finding turf rather than Newcastle hands, and Sale are flooding through like demons.
Kicking the ball.
Rob Duprea lashes it almost through the hands of a Falcons player. Brown goes back there, he gets melted. Roebuck again leading the chasing charge. 80th minute of the match.
Okay, use it now, please.
Close to 2 years since Newcastle have beaten Sale, more than 7 since they've won here in Salford now. And a quarter of a century of matches without Premiership victory. Joe Davis won't go through a pocket forward.
He's been lively, Joe Davis, hasn't he, since he's come on? He's added a nice bit of spark from the base, picked up the tempo. Brought the forwards onto the ball well.
Okay, use it now, please.
Well, Steve Diamond's been talking him up a lot in pre-season.
Now, please.
Might well see him get his first start in the coming weeks. Big game next weekend for Newcastle. Friday night with us on TNT Sports against the Exeter Chiefs, who, pending the result this weekend, are the only other team in the league yet to register a victory.
Thank you.
Bit of an offload. They're putting a lot of pressure on them. What does Rob Dupree do here? Oh! Oh!
That belongs in the octagon, doesn't it?
Wow. That's
Have it.
Oh, that's lucky.
Okay, thanks. Okay, come, yeah.
Don't rub them, count them.
There's probably a red card down the road at Old Trafford.
In 5.
We're tougher than that in rugby. Final play of the match.
That's once.
Sale might want to just call it a day. They've got their bonus points secured, and they've got another big win secured too. Newcastle Falcons winless streak goes on. 25 Premiership games without victory, as Sale Sharks continue their dominance of this Northern Derby. A bonus point in the bag. Well, Steve Diamond has virtually a fully fit squad to choose from this evening. A head injury to Ben Stevenson, the only fresh concern, with Ben Redshaw, Tom Gordon and Eduardo Besho, the longer-term absentees. Young age-grade star Ollie Spencer features on the wing in place of Stevenson, just his third start at this level, with Sammy Arnold and Max Clark both ready to rumble in an exciting and abrasive midfield duo. Up front, Cam Neal is a former Sale Sharks stalwart. The Leicester-bound Jamie Lamire has 11 tries this season as he continues to push for more international recognition. And of course, as ever, Callum Chick leading the Falcons once again, whether through more strife or the celebration he craves. On the bench tonight, veteran lock Seb de Chavez will make his 100th appearance in this competition if and when he is introduced. It is truly a wince-inducing Sale team for a fixture the Sharks really could do with winning, having slipped up in their past two. 4 Englishmen back from Six Nations duty, including captain Ben Curry, who was so impressive this championship as a starter or a finisher. Tom Roebuck was a try scorer against Wales 6 days ago, with George Ford also making a typically elegant cameo off the bench down in Cardiff. Rikiti Maasi-White gets an opportunity to showcase himself in the midfield as Sale seeks some more oomph in that department. Bevan Rod and Ashirapoku Fordur pushing hard for more England caps in the front row. And the South African enforcer Jean-Luc Duprea wears number 8 tonight behind a towering lock duo of Ben Bamber and Johnny Hill. So tall, those two, they're at risk of altitude sickness at line-out time. And after that terrible joke, I'll welcome Hugo Southwell to the action, and he'll talk about rugby for a while. And then rugby will appear. You didn't miss much. And then some rugby will happen. I don't know how much rugby because it's Baltic here, and it's as windy as I've seen it here, believe it or not. It's so blustery. So I think we're gonna have a lot of kicking, a lot of dropping, and a lot of cutaway shots, I suspect, because there won't be a lot of fluency in this. Careful I say this, a lot of cutaways. Careful I say that, especially in my accent. Thinking of starting a subscription service if you're interested. They're longer than the ad breaks, Jesus. I think it was, yeah. I know, Paris, yeah. Paris, not Tokyo, but yeah, Paris, yeah. We did see each other in the canteen in Paris now and again. And then you came out, I think during one of the Aussie games, you must have had a break from directing. You came out, the relief director, whether it was Josh Turner or whoever was doing the relief directing for you, You came out to have a... Oh, there you are, Sarah. So you came out to have an actual look at the actual rugby rather than being in the cabin out the back. But yeah, I saw you in the canteen a couple of times, and Lachlan as well, and Gwez, and Paul, and the rest of the crew as well. In fact, I saw Paul quite a bit because he was obviously out and about managing floors as he does. But yeah, I saw a few of you boys, but it's been a while. Oh, so good, so good. Just the way the French really embraced it. Do you know, I didn't get to see any of the coverage because I was contributing to it all. But I believe it was a broadcasting triumph. Easily done. Sevens is a unique beast as well. Everything's going on at once. Half the time the crowd doesn't realise what's going on. That's rugby, mind you. Good evening, everybody. The Six Nations has been parcelled up and archived for another year, and the Gallagher Premiership comes roaring back after nearly 60 days without a fixture. We're not messing around this weekend either. This is Derby Round, the rematch, and tonight the best of the North go toe-to-toe at Kingston Park. The Newcastle Falcons again in the headlines this week over some financial concerns. Top of the agenda tonight, though, is a win to help narrow the gap on the Exeter Chiefs, who they take on in Devon next weekend at the foot of the table. Sale Sharks have designs on the top four, of course, and no, they cannot afford many more slip-ups as the Premiership run-in comes sizzling to the boil. So loads of plot lines woven through this Friday night affair, and time now to get the thoughts of two staunch rugby men of the North, the Sale Sharks Director of Rugby Al Sanderson, and first Newcastle's Steve Diamond.
Steve, lots of headlines around this week, a lot in the Times and the Telegraph and in national print media around the finances at the club, reports of a loan that might happen as a contingency should you fail to get the investment in the door that you want before the monitoring tests take place. What can you tell us about the state of play financially at the moment?
Well, state of play is we're not in a position of flux. We're fine this season, and it's just making sure there's enough in the cash flow to get us through. You know, hopefully we can get some new investment into the club, but in a short-term process, we might need to cash flow it for the foreseeable future.
On the pitch, you've had a good run in the Premiership Cup. You used that as a real springboard to give you momentum earlier in the season. That culminated in a big win, a long-awaited win over Saris here post-Autumn Nations. Is that what you're looking to do off the back of that this time around?
Well, we are trying to do that, obviously, but we've come across a different animal tonight than the Prem Cup teams, you know. With the exception of Tom Curry, they're probably fully loaded. So it'll be a really difficult game for us. But you know, we've shown, you know, over the last 7 or 8 months that we aren't competitive at least for 60 minutes in a game. So I've just told the lads to get out there for the first half. Let's stay in contention, and we'll reevaluate at half time.
Steve, thanks for your time. Best of luck.
Cheers, thanks.
Well, Al, a hugely successful Six Nations period for Sale Sharks players, both in the England squad, the Wales squad, and indeed the various England age grade squads. How do you tie all these various elements, all these returning players back for successful performance tonight?
You've got to bring him in, bring him home, get to gel quick, you know, to rekindle and reconnect the relationships that we had before going to the Six Nations, with the extra experience that they've gleaned whilst they've been away at a high level of the game. So, yeah, that was going to be the main aim this week, just for them to feel like they've come home, and then to get them focused on the run-in and tonight being the first part of that.
No matter how talented or confident a squad you have, I guess there's always the risk that hosting a big competition when players have been away, when you haven't had a lot of matches in the Six Nations window as a club, there's a drop in cohesion, a drop in accuracy. How important is it that your execution is on point? And what can be a tricky away ground this?
Yeah, that's been our challenge and something we've been chasing all season, really. Just a bit of execution on the back of a lot of endeavour, a good set piece dominance and a decent defence most of the time. So we've been working really hard on that, like a lot more skill work, more focus, prioritisation of our attack in certain areas, and how we can just sharpen up back into the season. Because we need wins and we need bonus points, but as I say, I'd be very happy just coming away with a performance and a result tonight. I think last year was the first time we've won in about 9 years, so we know the challenge here.
This is always billed as the Northern Derby, partly because you're the only two Northern representatives in the competition rather than the actual proximity of the two teams. I know you're a man who likes your imagery and your metaphors when you're building a week and a narrative for a team. Do you lean into that Kings of the North vibe, or is it something different for this game?
No, we've just tried to focus on ourselves, really. As I say, like just making sure that we're as tight together, streamlined as we can be this week. We know we've got a big task ahead of us in the run-in. It's not impossible. We've shown that last year that in form we're probably the team that everyone else doesn't want to play. We've got to find that form, you know, find it quick, as I've said. This week we've been looking no further than Friday night. That's been the narrative.
Well, best of luck tonight. Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Well, Steve Diamond has virtually a fully fit squad to choose from tonight. A head injury to Ben Stevenson the only fresh concern this week, with Ben Redshaw, Tommy Gordon and Eduardo Beccio the longer-term absentees. Young age grade star Ollie Spencer features on the wing in place of Stevenson. It's just his third start at Premiership level, with Sammy Arnold and Max Clark both ready to rumble in an exciting and abrasive midfield pairing. Up front, Cam Neild is a former Sale Sharks stalwart. He's only recently returned to fitness after being injured in pre-season against his old team. The Leicester-bound Jamie Bilbao has 11 tries this season as he continues to push for more international honours. And of course, as ever, Callum Jigg leading the Falcons once again, whether through more strife or through the celebration he will crave tonight. It is a positively wince-inducing Sale team for a fixture the Sharks really could do with winning, having slipped up in their past 2 league outings. 4 Englishmen back from Six Nations duty, including captain Ben Curry, who was so impressive this championship as a starter and a finisher. Tom Roebuck was a try scorer against Wales 6 days ago, with George Ford also making a typically elegant cameo off the bench in Cardiff. Rikiti Maasi-White gets an opportunity to showcase himself in the midfield as Sale seeks some more oomph in that department. Bevan Rodd and Asher Opoku-Forjur are pushing hard for more England caps in the front row, and the South African enforcer Jean-Luc Dupria wears number 8 tonight behind a towering lock duo of Bamber and Hill, so tall that at risk of altitude sickness when the ball's thrown into the line-out. So Friday night in Newcastle, and with us tonight a man who once dazzled beneath the shimmering floodlights of Paris, Hugo Southwell, formerly of Stade Francais, of Wasps and of Scotland, now casting his eye over this northern tussle in the cold in the Tomb. First league game for 2 months, Hugo. What's it like as a player coming to a ground like this and trying to find your bearings again in the league?
Yeah, it's always tough, isn't it? And especially for this Sale side, one game in 7 weeks. It's going to be a really tough ask for them. But for this Newcastle side, they're a side that since the new year, they've averaged 25 points in the last 4 games. Yes, 2 Premiership Cup games and 2 Premiership games, but they're scoring a few more points. They're gelling more as a team, and it's a huge opportunity. Last time we saw them come back from the autumn test, they beat Sarries. Can they do it again against a very strong Sale side?
One particularly interested spectator tonight, Stuart Lancaster, former England, Leinster and most recently Racing 92 head coach. He left that job in Paris a couple of months ago and back home in his spiritual home in the north of England, taking on a clash between the cream of this part of the country. The Gallagher Premiership returns once again. These fans have been through an awful lot. The Newcastle lot have at last got a couple of wins on the boards, and tonight it is typically frosty, typically cold, a biting wind whirling around through Kingston Park as Ben Curry, back from a hugely impressive Six Nations campaign, returns to club business and leads out Sale. The end of 2024 with a statement pummeling of Bristol Bears, shutting out the league's great swashbucklers 38-0. But since then, things haven't quite gone to plan, losing to Gloucester and to Bath in the league, knocked out of the Cup, and scraping into the Champions Cup last 16, where they will face mighty Toulouse in France in a few weeks. League so congested, 6 points off the top 4, but the margin for error for Ben Curry and his troops already narrowing fast. This is a big old night for Al Sanderson and for all of his returning frontliners back in the bright orange of the Sharks. Another season of twists and turns, of delight and despair for Newcastle Falcons. They've bucked that losing trend, but still they are marooned at the foot of the table and seeking not just short-term investment, but the money to build a sustainable future, a real powerhouse club in the true north, as they call it, over the next decade and beyond. The Prem Cup has provided some solace, Falcons making it to the semi-final stage, while Sale have only had 1 match in the past 5 weeks. Falcons looking to build on that positivity for the final furlongs of the league campaign. Christoph Ridley's the man in the middle. Two clubs representing the cream of England's northern talent and the fans who back them. The Falcons of the Northeast, the Sharks of the Northwest. And at the moment, Sale look to be playing into the teeth of this ferocious northeast breeze. Gus Ward, a scrum half, who kicks almost as much as anybody in the Gallagher Premiership, only even Sale kicking more often down at Saracens. First line out is clean from Jamie Blamire. And they look to launch Freddie Lockwood, talented back row forward through the middle. Alex Hurl out the back, piercing through, options on the inside. Conan manhandled by Ben Curry. How good was that man for Steve Borthwick's England alongside his twin brother Tom Curry, Luke Cowan-Dickey, two of those rested for this fixture after their Six Nations exertions. Arnold over to Yinbo, shovel that on nicely to Max Clark. Cam Niels, Sale Sharks centurion, now playing for his old gaffer Steve Diamond further north. Up it goes from Conan. Breeze at his back. Carpenter claims. Too quick for Blamire. Too quick for Aaron Brocklebank perhaps as well. Brocklebank recovers brilliantly to drag him down and latch onto that ball. Ford. A bit of a spillage there in the midfield, and Newcastle have it back through Phil van der Vaalt. First touch for young Ollie Spencer, the 21-year-old, normally a centre but deployed on the wing without Ben Stevenson, with Adam Radwan moving off to Leicester. Max Pepper heading for the exit door, and Bristol Bears next year as well.
You're pinning him. I'm never going to penalise him for that. Use it. Don't pin it.
Stewart gets plenty height on that kick. And Flaherty came waving for it. Chitka's picked up the scraps. He's getting thrown towards touch. And he has just trodden on that white paint. Breathless opening couple of minutes.
Yeah, you can see how this Sale side are trying to get into the game. They are flying out the traps in defence. They are coming off the line so quickly, trying to make really offensive tackles, putting Newcastle on the back foot. As they go quickly now, it's going to be retaken, but just so aggressive in defence. You can see why they stop teams getting any sort of gain line success against them.
Wakiti Maasi Whites over the top of the line out, and Sale come thundering round through McElroy.
Offside.
Penalty to Sale, Newcastle offside, and apologies for any foul language you might have heard for Christoph Ridley's microphone in the meantime.
Yeah, I thought they'd been unlucky there, Newcastle on the floor. It looked like they were holding on a bit too long. It looked like it was a good competition on the deck, but Christoph Ridley gave the advantage to the Sale Sharks, and just offside at the breakdown there, not behind the back foot. It's surely a simple chance here. You can see there, I think it's... yeah, it was Adam Brocklebank, wasn't it? Just not quite retreating behind the back foot.
George Ford, so classy off the bench in Cardiff in that English rout of the League of Wales team 6 days ago. Touted this week by Alex Anderson as a Lions contender, and why ever not? The class, the experience, the poise, and the fly halves at Andy Farrell's disposal. And even in these troublesome conditions, George Ford never likely to have any issues with that one. Sale lead on 4 minutes.
He made sure of that one, didn't it? It cleared the stand into the wind. Wasn't going to...
If I got it wrong, I apologise. Thank you.
Leave that one guessing. It's gone out the ground, into the wind. Great start from George Ford.
A lot of headlines you might have been reading in the press this week around Newcastle Falcons. They are, of course, looking for investment, looking for something long-term to build that sustainable future for 10, 15 years plus. It's not just the short-term cash that they're going to need to compete next season. If they can't get that investment sorted before various monitoring tests to make sure the club can complete the season are undertaken in a couple of months' time, then there is the contingency plan. Steve Diamond's been talking about it this week of a loan from the other 9 Premiership clubs and CBC, who of course hold roughly a third of the stake in Premiership rugby.
Just be careful about coming with your want to protect you, but it's difficult if you do that.
All the raw materials are here in the northeast. The big fan base, a big catchment, fertile academy system. Just getting that funding in place. Through his squint, and it was enough of a contest from Sale that will get the rewards.
The competition was on the ground.
That's exactly what they can't do. Jamie Blamar there just throwing it squint. They're not going to get many opportunities up this end of the pitch. You know, not a great kick, clearance kick.
Competition in the air for not straight.
And they've got an opportunity there. They have to take it. They have to make the most of these chances.
First look at Asher Opoku-Fordew on this side of the scrum here. One of the bright, hot, propping talents coming through English rugby, and there are plenty of them. Many of them, by the way, at Sale Sharks. You've got Ralph McEachran, Ty Raymond, Patrice Bell as well. Part of the Sale Sharks Academy squad, part of the England under-20 setup. Has been so successful in recent years. Opoku-Fordew buckling Brocklebank.
See what comes.
Penalty advantage to Sale. Ford spins it wide, and Rob Duprea. Carpenter to Roebuck, one of the deadliest men in the league. Back inside to his former housemate Carpenter. Ford and Bamber. Carries with such venom. Ford changing direction. He saw the slew of orange off to his right, kicking over the top of Spencer. Recovered really well, but there was no advantage accruing.
Yeah, and you can see the ref was asking him to use it in the scrum, and eventually the advantage was given for collapsing the scrum. It was actually that's it, from collapsing the scrum. It came from the touch judge on the far side. And that's where you feel this Newcastle side is such a, looking from up here where we're sitting, it's a really big, strong Sale pack. They've been so good in line-out drives in the maul. Obviously set piece is a huge part of their game. If they get the opportunities in the half, in Newcastle's half, it'll be could be a very long night for this Newcastle side.
Yeah, the call came from the far side. It was Murray McCallum infringing up against Bevan Rodd. Sale have got the best line-out stats in the Premiership this season. 2 from 2 tonight, and War selling Kieran McDonald and bursting up to the 22. Lemire whacked him. Rods to Ben Curry. Van Rijn, and Rod again has a pick and trundle, but he is trundling in reverse. Ford probing the short side. Rob Duprea gets onto it. O'Flaherty helps. Newcastle's defence in their own 22 has been a real tough point for them this season. 45% of opposition entries end in tries, but this one won't. Ball is loose. Obatiyinbo shoveling it back to Spencer, who looks to run over the top of Opoku-Fordew. Physical mismatch. Spencer sets it up. And Newcastle survived that little flurry of attack.
Inside. Lads, back foot. Use.
Plenty distance on that clearance from Sam Stewart, and Newcastle will be satisfied to have withstood that first Sale Sharks red zone entry, that 22 visit that we talk about in rugby.
Yeah, and what they did really well is Sammy Arnold, along with his winger Ollie Spencer, they just flew up on the outside. They were down on numbers, but they just put pressure on. It just forced an error, and they got the turnover. In those situations, sometimes you just got to, it's a bit of hit or bust. Exactly what they did.
Oh, Gus Ward just has his coattails clung onto by Brocklebank. It's the second time Ward's found space in behind those shooting Newcastle defenders. Jean-Luc Duprea, he's the Sale enforcer.
Good job.
Bevan Rods, short and hard. Maybe pushing to get himself back in that England matchday 23. Duprea and Ford, the twin playmakers, and Roebuck searing through the middle. Ward's with him. Roebuck throws the dummy, then looks for Ward. Newcastle get there and slow it up. Still Sale possession. Ernst van Rijn, 6 metres out the Sharks. Johnny Hill. War. Ford pulling it back. Rob Duprea. Bevan Rodd's got wheels. Bevan Rodd's got a V8 engine. A crash bang Wallop finish from the rampaging Lucid. He might have done himself a mischief in the process. but he's trampled Newcastle into the rubber crumb pitch.
And that really is how to execute and craft a score, isn't it? Brilliant work in midfield, initially by George Ford. Create the space, just straighten up on the pass. Create the space for Roebuck to go through. And when they recycled it, to be fair, that is a great line. He's just taken the ball on the outside of the defender as if he's a 13. It's great to see, isn't it? A prop in this day and age, just taking the ball on the angle like that, doing Max Clark. And what a finish.
There was a time when Bevan Rod reckoned, in his own words, he offered nothing to Sale as a ball-carrying presence. Huge work on for him as a young prop. You can see that work paying off. George Ford kisses the inside of the post and moves Sale onto double figures, just about keeping pace with the clock.
And what's impressive by this Sale team at the moment is just their urgency. Urgency in defence, they are flying up off the line. Urgency for everyone to get in position, to be an attacking threat in attack as well. And to have a prop out there taking the ball just on the drift almost, on the outside of the defender. Really, really outstanding work from Bevan Rod.
Should hit 100 games for Sale over the next couple of matches. Sharks hosting Northampton next weekend, live on TNT Sports, of course, before they're off to the south of France for a date with the Galacticos of Toulouse in the Investec Champions Cup last 16. Jean-Luc Dupria, twin brother Dan still out injured.
Oh, that's ripped in the air, ripped in the air.
For the Belt, that is legal, the steal. Gus Ward tries to reef it back. First time Newcastle have raised the gallop inside the away 22. And then Sammy Arnold, for fear of being held up, threw it back, and it has come off Sale fingers. So it will be a Newcastle scrum.
Yeah, and there's the difference right there. They turn the ball over. They've just got one runner going in on Sammy Arnold on his own. You can see here, Van der Vaart, really good strip. But here, Sammy Arnold, no real support. Max Clark goes in afterwards, but they've got to get more urgency to the ball carrier quicker. At the moment, Sale just first to everything.
How do you see this Newcastle attack shaping up, Hugo, based on the chess pieces being dragged into position?
Not head on head this time.
Well, you can see now on the blind side, you've got Sammy Arnold. Alex Hurl's probably been the biggest attacking threat for this Newcastle side. I would expect them to go two guys behind and see which way the scrum goes. If the scrum wheels, they go to go right.
Stewart and Arnold's thundering through the middle. That's the go forward that Newcastle have missed with his injury. Murray McCallum loses the ball and McElroy scoops it up for Sale. Execution once again, Falcons undoing. George Ford back in the pocket. A little bit of a slice, but steers the ball onto the roof of the stand and Sale out of their own front garden.
Yeah, the way Sale defend, they're going to make you work for your points. They're going to make you work to go through the phases, and if you're dropping the ball on the second phase, there's Murray McCallum, unfortunately, just looked at the defenders as he was going to take the ball into contact. They have to go through the phases, this Newcastle side.
Max Clark, Premiership Centurion. Played plenty of times for Bath over the years. Blameyer, bouncing pass, and Arnold again gets the basketball offload away to McCallum. Squashed into the ground by Johnny Hill. Van der Vaart throwing the dummy. 25 years of age now, Van der Vaart, still a big carrier for Newcastle.
Thank you. They've both been pulled off their feet. Play on.
Connon. Arnold drops it on the toe, looking for touch at the corner, and he's put a little bit too much on it. Just a few inches in it, but it's those margins that just not go Newcastle's way this season.
Yeah, and at the moment, if you look at their setup, they've just lost 3 runners out the front. Sammy Arnold's got no other option out the back. He's sort of got 1 runner outside him against 3 defenders. The only option is the kick. It was the right option. It was just the execution that was just off. And that's what the defence of Sale does to you. It's so aggressive, it's so offensive, and they make their first up tackles. And what that does, it puts you on the back foot. You're always struggling to get over the gain line.
Use it, that's the back foot.
The This will test young Ollie Spencer. No, it won't, because Gus Wars shanked it out in the full and almost taken the head clean off a child down below us who was about to tuck into his pie and chips at half-time. It would have been hard to do that without any teeth.
Don't defend the front so tightly. Just step
See, that was one that just really caught the wind. He's had such a brilliant start.
Here we go, look out. Oof.
That would have been messy. He's had a brilliant start, hasn't he, around the fringes. Gus Ward, first minor mistake for him. That won't knock him off his stride.
Newcastle with another chance to launch something from first phase. Clark sets the platform. Conan, Obati-Inbo injecting some pace, but not going to win a physical duel with Rob Duprea. Callum Chick, the skipper, over 150 games now in that storied black jersey. Conan just assessing his options, not much around him, and Carpenter has covered the kick very well. Third most metres made in the league this year, the Yorkshireman. But Obati-Inbo has his number, 15 on 15. Wonderful jackal. And the penalty advantage 2 to Newcastle, with Johnny Hill straying offside. Stewart, Conan, Arnold, not a lot going on outside him. And Ben Curry's mitts will ensure the penalty advantage is activated.
That's exactly what you want from your outside backs. The full-back getting the jackal, getting the steal in a really, really good position for Newcastle. Give them another opportunity, another line out deep in the 22 of this Sale side. Just got to keep knocking at the door. Great steal there.
Bit of a polymath, Elliot Obati-Inbo. He's a scratch golfer, talented charcoal painter, so we understand as well. It's one of his hobbies outside of rugby. Try scorer last time Newcastle won an away match 2 years ago at Kingsholm down in the West Country. On average, Newcastle are requiring 5 entries to the opposition 22 to score a try. Their conversion rate hovering around the 20% mark in the league this season. This is number 3. What can they make from it? Lemire hits McDonald's, and off he comes, but Johnny Hill read that so well. Dorian West, Pete Anglesey and the rest of the Sale Sharks coaches will have been watching those moves closely this week. Stewart to Chick, came out of nowhere but makes no ground. McCallum tucks and runs, big shots coming in from this Byron McGuigan drill defence. Third best in England this season, only Harlequins and Leicester better defensive records. Kneeled. Newcastle going backwards here. Conan, Chick to find Brocklebank. Good scavenging work on the deck from McCallum to rescue it. Max Clark has to kick. Carpenter waiting for it. And O'Flaherty, with all his experience, looking to find some of the heavyweights to run through, to dazzle. Not going to dazzle Philip van der Waal, who poleaxes him on the 22.
Don't hold players, please. Yeah, it is now.
Penalty Newcastle again. Callum Chick winning it this time.
Holding and the first man straight off his feet.
Did you see the ball carry out completely uncompromised in the tackle? First man there, Callum Chick. Exactly what they needed under a bit of pressure. You can see with Sale what they're doing in defence. They're coming up and they're making it so hard at the breakdown because the tackle, first up tackle, is so offensive. They're straight away on the front foot. They don't have to commit too many players to the breakdown. They can still challenge sometimes with one player. What that means is they just all fan out and it's almost impossible to break down their line. And Newcastle are just going backwards. They're relying on scraps at the moment. They've just got to make them, if they get opportunities like this, they just have to get something out of it.
Our necks have been craned to our left for much of the opening quarter here. Still a big fat 0 on the Newcastle end of the ledger. The ball looks well constructed. Lemire and Arnold are in command at the rear of it. Sale halt the first shunt. Bevan Rodd doing a good spoiling job.
Don't change, don't change.
Chick in possession.
Let's get it away.
Sam Stewart
He can.
ordered to play. Nothing much happening here for the Falcons, and they're at risk of being turned over.
Tackle.
That's now a tackle, not a maul, so Sale players do have to roll away belatedly, and Newcastle have got to find a new way to smuggle the ball over that precious white try line.
Advantage.
Van der Vaart does draw the offside penalty. Kneeled to Lockwood. Good shot, Bevan Rhodes. Stewart now moves it. Clark, Arnold, Conan. Hear him, scare him stuff from the backs. And he will need that penalty.
Back here, offside.
You could just see around the fringes, couldn't you? Sale just creeping offside. We've had a penalty up the other end. The same against Newcastle. This time, just not behind the back foot there. It's Jean-Luc Van der Veer.
You've almost become part of it at that point. You're
Conan will just knock it in the corner again.
No.
Averaging fewer than 2 tries scored per match in the league this season, Newcastle. 19 from 11 league games. And this passage of play symptomatic of their troubles in converting pressure into 5-7 points and more. McDonald takes uncontested. Now they find some space down the short side, and plunging through against his former club is Cam Neild. What a torrid start to life in Newcastle he's had. Serious injury in pre-season against the Sharks, but he's come back to land a body blow on his old team here and drag Newcastle back within touching distance.
Yeah, I was about to say, the only way you felt they were going to score was by a sort of shift drive. Exactly what they did. And then he had the wherewithal just to splinter off through the middle where there was nothing from Sale. No defence, straight through the middle. Really good decision-making there from Cam Neild. After all the efforts they've had over the last 3 or 4 minutes, a couple of line-outs, one that went squint, they get the opportunity to get them back into this game.
Brett Conan kicking it around 82% this season off the tee. His first shot of the night. Up go the flags. Newcastle back within 3. And they have, crucially, the reward for all that territorial dominance.
You could just see, just shifted around the corner there. You feel that if they go toe-to-toe, straight forward, straight on against this Sale pack, they're not going to get much change, but instead they shifted it, and it was so dynamic. Really, really good score in this forward pack.
Tom Roebuck, his superpower is being a nuisance in the air, and not only a nuisance in the air, he has wrestled it back on the ground as well. And Sale can flick the switch and turn a restart into a prime attacking opportunity. Carpenter to Jean-Luc Dupré. War. Maasi White. His father, Villy, a former Tongan international. Curry.
You stepped off, you matador.
Rod. Forwards. Rob Dupré. A lot of runners here. Maasi White. Gap cleaved open. And he's celebrating already. A flourish of tongue and flair from a young Tyro in the Sale midfield.
That really is the sort of thing that Steve Diamond will be pulling his hair out. The kickoff, they had the kickoff in their hands, then spilled out wide. There was a knock-on advantage in the end. They had it. The Newcastle team had collected the ball. Coaches always say that you have to... Oh, are they checking for maybe a bit of blocking there?
Shot clock off, please, just for a second.
Looks like there might be, yeah.
There wasn't a knock-on because it was confusing for us on field. It's not a formal check, just look in the background, please.
Yeah, we're just checking Andrew Jackson, our TMO, not just the potential obstruction here, but actually how Sale came into possession of the ball, whether there was a knock-on, because Newcastle were crying plaintively that that wasn't the case. Here's a look at it. It's whether Roebuck raises it forwards. Well, there perhaps the second time.
Callum,
right arm of Roebuck.
I need to look at the screen.
It was later on in the play, wasn't it? It was almost like he was unaware, but he put his hand out. I think it's as Callum Chick picks it up here. Oh, we don't see that far.
No, it was
It's a bit like one of those old Renaissance paintings you see
Christoph, we
popping
need
up
to
on
make this
your
a formal check, please.
social media feeds every now and again. Every time you look at the screen, there's something different, something chaotic to catch your
Jack,
eye.
are you showing me something?
This is now a formal review.
We're just going to take one more look. So it's not
isn't
that
it? Because
initial
Callum Chick
contest in
picks
the
it
air,
up, and as
but
he's
then I've got
picking
an
it up,
angle where
he would have had it in his hand, and
it
it
goes
looks
back
like
from
Tom
Newcastle, but I
Roebuck's
think he does
hand
glance
brushes
the
it out of his
orange
hand forward.
So we'll just review it.
Yeah, that's what Andrew Jackson's just reiterated to Christoph Ridley. It's not that incident there. It's after Callum Chick picks up possession and then loses it. It's that right arm of Tom Roebuck there.
Oh, that glances his arm, doesn't it?
And you can see his hand
see
move,
that's
so
come off the
that should
wrist
be given
just
as a knock
Correct.
on.
And then it seems to roll forwards. Are we both in agreement?
Yeah.
No try going back for that knock on, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you have to say that is very creditable work from the officials. Not an easy spot, an awful lot going on. But they listened to Callum Chick and the Newcastle players, and ultimately they seem to have arrived at the correct outcome.
Yeah, definitely the correct outcome, and a huge decision in the game. You know, 10-7, suddenly going to 17-7 under the sticks. This keeps Newcastle, 24 minutes in the game as well. It's a huge moment. You have to give credit to Sale as well. What a finish that was. It's George Ford instrumental again, just creating space around him. He's done that for quite a few occasions, making space for everyone, creating holes.
Bit of an opportunity for Rikiti Maasi-White. Maasi Anathalebo, the marquee summer signing from Fiji. Didn't really work out at Sale. He's off to the Ospreys now. They've got Marius Lowe, the Lions captain from Joburg, jetting in for next season. But in the here and now, Maasi-White, you've caught a glimpse of his flair, his skill, his intelligence there. He's got a chance to stake a claim outside George Ford. Horrible position of the rugby pitch from which to try and extricate yourself here. Max Clark does a bit of the heavy lifting.
No, it's not. It's not. No. He's just placed his hand on it. Not now, Ben. Thank you.
Kieran McDonald, former Wasps and Munster lock forwards.
9, use it.
Will create the angle and the space for Sam Stewart to try and hoof this clear. Clear Johnny Hill first, which isn't easy. Roebuck waits, getting away from Spencer, but not Chick. Ford conducting things. Bamber, former rugby league youngster. Opoku Fordur, but a bit of obstruction, bit of crossing.
You're stood in front of a man who's got the ball on your own team.
And just perhaps that cohesion issue that we often see with teams who've had a lot of international absentees, Hugo, who haven't played lots of rugby together.
Yeah, it looked like Gus Wall wanted to pick that up.
Shot called.
And then he got the call. Opoku Fordur just picked it up. There's a bit of crossing. Brett Connon here going for the 3 points. He's got the wind. It is pretty strong. You would have thought this is well within his reach with that wind. It's never easy, is it, when you start really well, which is what they've done. They started well. You've always seen with teams that go, it's like poker, never win early. In rugby as well, you start well. Things can catch up with you, especially when you haven't played together, especially when a team comes back at you and comes back into a game. There's a bit of doubt. It's the fact you haven't played for a while together. You have to reset. Still a long way to go.
Kingston Park falls into a hush as Brett Connon grabs the driver from his bag. Distance, no problem. Accuracy is.
You can just see that. He actually caught that really well. Just drifted on the wind across the face of the post. The wind is going into that corner. But he had plenty. I think he probably had another 15 metres on him.
Jenny, timing.
George Ford spoons it into the Newcastle air. Horrible ball to try and catch. Newcastle belatedly have caught it through McDonald. And now it's their turn to attack once again through Chick. Connon, flat pass, but it's behind Clark, and then O'Flaherty just loses it when he had the opportunity to stress a disorganised defence.
You can just see though, can't you? Again, they're just losing numbers in attack. Newcastle, Brett Connon looks up.
He's got a couple of options with the forwards there, or one forward and Max Clark, but then everyone else is outside the rush defence, and he just can't get the ball through either through the defence or over the top to the outside. Very, very good from O'Flaherty on the wing, just coming up and sealing everything off for the Sale Sharks side.
When you're facing an aggressive defence, the like of which Sale deploys, Hugo, what do you do if you're a Newcastle player? Do you need to up your short kicking game more? Do you need to go wider earlier?
Exactly that. You've obviously got the wide kick. If your fullback's not on the ball and he's just a bit deeper, you've got the crossfield kick, obviously, because the wingers are coming up hard. You've got the little kicks in behind to try and keep the nine honest, but also you've got to go more direct. You've got to get your big runners in midfield, off shoulders, pick and goes, to earn the right to then go wide. I think if you try and go wide too early, that's when you come unstuck.
Across. So we need set, stop, then ball, then you can have a crack at each other. Okay,
it really is about mixing your game up, and this Newcastle side, again, probably hasn't had experience in playing games where they get every part of their game right for a long period. So it's going to be a test tonight. It has been a test so far, but at the moment, on the scoreboard, it's only 10-7.
Control it. Crouch. Fine. Set. Stay up, stay up.
Hear the grunts and howls of a professional scrummage. Max Clark doing some grunting of his own. Stewart. Lockwood smashing into Maasi White. Newcastle fans crying for offside as McDonald takes the inside ball. Chick calls for it. Instead they go to Conan. Arnold running the arc. Over to Yinbo. Ernst van Rijn just lets him go loose. Don't see the South African miss many tackles. Stewart looking for space, but O'Flaherty had read the kick and had got back in position very smartly. And he's not hanging around either. This one landing on Max Clark. Controls on the instep. Gets away from O'Flaherty. It's a scrappy old affair, this. Second Northern Derby of the league season, illustrated by that forward pass from Cam Neild. And now Sale can apply some pressure. Ford moving it wide. Roebuck sizing up Callum Chick and Sammy Arnold. Cuts inside Chick. McDonald can't get him. Arnold can't get him. Lovely pass to Carpenter. That is caviar. Tom Roebuck taking names again. Rob Duprea applies the finish. But that was all about the 6'3" Sale thoroughbred on the wing.
He had absolutely no right to do what he did there. He was tackled 3 or 4 times in that play. And as he showed last week when he scored his first try for England at the Principality, he is so strong on the ball. He is so good on his feet. Keeps his head up, keeps driving through. He's never beaten. First of all, great pass there, great vision off the turnover from George Ford. But the rest is all about Roebuck. The step on Callum Chick, stays on his feet, then the offload out the back. Really good composure from Carpenter. A brilliant team try from Sale Sharks, and exactly what they needed.
Yeah, it's all good.
Just such a balanced runner. Just look at that strength. Kieran McDonald tries to make the tackle. Callum Chick stepped on the inside.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
That was a team try, a really good team try from Sale.
George Ford pops over the extras, 17 points to 7. Rob Duprea with the finish, but it was all about Tom Roebuck. Al Sanderson talking him up this week after a try against Wales in his first England start down in Cardiff 7 days ago. Said his superpower is his power through contact, but Sale rather fluffing their lines from kickoff, allowing Hurl a sniff. Lockwood. Penalty advantage to Newcastle. Clark from a standing start, chipping for Arnold. The ricocheting ball won't sit. And the penalty awarded for the dangerous tackle on Alex Hurl after he won the ball.
Alex Hurl really has been in a side that struggled, for a long period. Alex Hurl has been one of the standout players. Every time I've come here, whether it was against Sarries, Exeter, when they won those games, and even games that they've lost, he's really, you know what you're going to get from him. Every time he's going to give everything, and you saw there on the kick chase exactly did that. I think just going back to the Sale try, Steve Diamond again, We saw the try that was disallowed, which looked like they'd fumbled off the kickoff. That also came from Cam Neild, inside ball, straight to deck, turnover, and they scored a try. So they've just got to limit their errors. You know, they've got to cut these errors out and make it easier for them on themselves. You know, they're just making life very difficult themselves by unforced errors that contribute to the tries.
So Brett Connon from much closer in this time, try and get Newcastle back within a score. Battered down the middle, and Newcastle move on to 10 points.
Yeah, it's an interesting call that, isn't it, going for 3 points, because you're with the wind. How many opportunities are you going to get in this position? 8 minutes to go in the half, 7 minutes to go now. You sort of think that maybe they should have taken the chance, either a scrum or maybe line out in the corner. We saw what they did off the last one.
It's all backwards, play on.
Well, Callum Chick juggling in his own 22, but he managed to slap it backwards to avoid conceding the knock-on. And Sam Stewart just drills it off the paddock.
Not what Sam Stewart, very untidy again. The kickoffs have really been something that they've, you know, under no pressure there. Callum Chick really, by his standards, should have taken that. And then Sam Stewart to only make 7-8 metres with the wind. You know, again, it straight away puts pressure on you.
What's he complaining about, Jamie?
The speed of the ball from the ball.
Yes!
McElroy's throw. McDonald pinches, and then Van der Valk gets onto it, but yeah, Kieran McDonald thrown across the channel, and that's why Christoph Ridley's given the penalty.
In those conditions, that was an awesome throw, wasn't it? I mean, I think if Kieran McDonald hadn't stepped across, that was right to his man. Brilliant throw, right to the back by McElroy.
He landed on top of the lifter.
And again, just on that, as George Ford puts it, 7, 8, 9 metres out. For this Newcastle side, they've knocked the ball on, or nearly knocked the ball on, fumbled it, then got the ball back, then kicked it 7 metres. It really is a small margins, but it just is a knock-on effect. It's 2 or 3 mistakes on top of each other, and suddenly you've got the best mauling side in the league, 10, 15 metres out.
Oh, Bevan Rodd wants another nibble at this. 3 metres out, Sale Sharks, McElroy. Newcastle get on ball quickly but illegally. Opoku Fordur. Penalty at worst for Sale here. War, Ford, zipping the passes. Oh, Herald came up and there was a pretty sickening collision there. Roebuck and Herald. Back will go for the penalty.
Jack on the floor and then back.
It's not hard to get up so quickly from that, Alex Hurl. It looked pretty nasty at the time. Yeah, quick tap penalty by the looks of things.
Sale Sharks tanks, ready and revving. McElroy leaves it. Couple of dummies there, and Bamber is the weapon of choice in the shadow of the home posts.
No hands. Good job.
Slow ball for War. Rod slips one tackle. Jean-Luc Dupria looked right, then went left, inching ever closer in the final 4 minutes of the first half. These next few phases could be so important for both teams. Johnny Hill, decked by Neild. McElroy leaves it. Opoku Fordur, commanded to carry. Still going Opoku Fordur, tornadoing out of one. Hill, Jean-Luc Dupria, soaked up by Max Clark. Callum Chick trying to steal it, doesn't get the reward this time, and he's going to concede the penalty.
He can't play the ball, he's not first man.
Yeah, I think Callum Chick, by the time he said to the referee, I'm okay, he'd actually already had his hands on the floor. His hands were on the floor initially, then he dragged them back. The referee had seen it, and he was definitely not supporting his own body weight initially.
Shot called anyway. No, I didn't think so, no. All right. They're going to go for goal. We'll give him time as well. time off then, please. We'll just wait.
Yeah, Kieran McDonald down receiving some treatments. Sale have, by the way, elected to go for goal here. Try and just widen this gap a little as the half moves towards its conclusion.
Just wait for him, 40, and then I'll put the clock back on.
I think Newcastle will be absolutely delighted about that. Under the pump, 17-10, big forwards running at you, phase after phase. And this is a foregone conclusion for George Ford, but still 10 points. It's much better than 14.
Okay, time back on then, when you're ready.
Kieran McDonald is going to have to come off, by the way. It's a head injury assessment required. Newcastle will be forced into a sub shortly. George Ford, as expected, slots another kick, and that 10-point lead restored.
Penalty for South Sharks, 7 out of 10, George Ford.
You can just see here. Trying to see what happened. I think he might have twisted his knee. Difficult to see what happened to Kieran McDonald, but he's gone off the field.
Substitution for Newcastle Falcons coming off number 5, Kieran McDonald.
Again, Sale Sharks getting caught under the ball, and Sam Stewart profiting from it. Seb de Chavez, who's come on for his 100th Premiership appearance in place of Kieran McDonald, and again, just those hands not quite slick enough, not quite accurate enough for Newcastle.
You can see the ball just drifting away from Philip. He's a bit unlucky there, isn't he, for a knock on. Christoph Ridley there saying he knocked it on, but Alex Hurl's causing all sorts of trouble off the kickoffs, just running beyond the ball. He's just anticipated to go over the top of the lifting pod. It has a couple of times, and he's got the ball back. Exactly what he's wanted from his coach.
Spacing again, lads. Outside. Crouch! Bind! Ishmael.
An awful lot of choreography goes into making sure 16 extremely large human specimens are exactly where they need to be, with their boots and backs and heads in the right place. Sometimes we don't always get it right in rugby.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Final minute of the first 40. And Sale Sharks conjure something from deep. Penalty advantage will do them for starters, and they will need it. Nice tiki-taka touch from Brett Connon, but it's going to be in vain.
Oh, the hooker's ball.
So final act of the first half. Sale are going to go for more points here, and the ball does just creep across the touchline. Last play of the half, and it will be a Sale Sharks attacking play. And look at Alex Sanderson rallying the troops, sounding the battle cry down pitch side. Have they got the fluency to open up a serious lead before the break? Forward to Ben Curry, to Maasi White. Carpenter, right up the middle he goes, bursting through the heart of Newcastle. Lamar hunting for the steal, couldn't get it. What hands that is! Oh, George Ford, electric. 2 phases, Tom O'Flaherty's in, but have a look at this seed ball from George Ford. Just majestic.
Yeah, it's always pretty special, isn't it, when you go through on first phase ball, and look at the execution here. Everyone flat to the line. Execution, brilliant hands from Ben Curry. The support lines, Carpenter on the shoulder. Everyone willing to get on the ball. The urgency, and then the hands here from George Ford. He just held himself back. He saw the defender coming onto him. So instead of accelerating onto the ball, as we see Carpenter go through again, but it's this from George Ford. He feels the presence of the defender coming onto him, so he just stops, pulls him onto him, and creates the hole for Flaherty. And that's exactly what Alex Sanderson was doing on the touchline. He was saying, we've got one more go in us here to put the game to bed.
George Ford, not just passing beautifully, but kicking wonderfully as well. How crucial could that be? That is a morale-sapping try for Newcastle Falcons. It is an energy giver for Sale Sharks. A two-phase strike. George Ford at the heart of it. And a 17-point margin at the interval in the northeast. Half-time at Kingston Park. Newcastle Falcons 10, Sale Sharks 27. Here we go then, 40 decisive minutes in the northeast as the wind continues to rage all around us. What have Newcastle Falcons got by way of response?
No, wait. Use it. Outside.
Sam Stewart up into the sky, and you can see that ball holding up in the breeze and falling for Carpenter. Just lost forward, so knock-on advantage to Newcastle. Freddie Lockwood takes it on. He's had a big season for the Falcons.
Knock-on advantage is over. Use it, 9. Wait.
Stewart again. That one's going straight up, straight back down again. And Newcastle lose it. McElroy playing basketball. Blamire wrestling with War, but War wins that tussle. Roebuck at scrum half. Ford to Rhodes. Again, a rambunctious carry and an offload as well. The two props getting in on the act. But Apoku Forgier just running into Big Ben Bamber. And play will come to a halt.
Yeah, he just thought that it needed to go on the outside rather than back on the inside. Brilliant offload from Bevan Rod there. Just one pass more onto the left. I think they had numbers. Instead, comes back into the traffic and runs into his own man, unfortunately for an accidental offside. But you can see the wind has picked up even at half-time. From right to left as we look, with the Sale players behind their backs, it's going to be hard work for Newcastle to get out their half. They've got to kick well. The first one was great from Sam Stewart. The second one not so good. The execution's going to have to be right up there.
No great surprise, Newcastle stats are as ugly as they are. Fewest tackle breaks, line breaks, just 4 per match. Lowest gain line success rate, allowing 130-22 visits by their opponents as well this season, the most by miles. 12 per game that averages out at roughly. Got to try and get out of a sticky spot here. That's why the low trajectory of Obote Yinbo into the breeze. Enticing counter-attack though for Carpenter. Sees forwards in his crosshairs. Gets through a couple. War and Hill. British and Irish Lion on the most recent tour of South Africa. Jean-Luc Dupria wasn't necessarily expecting that, but he's big enough, strong enough to deal with it. Poku Forgier, there's that fast twitch dynamism that Al Sanderson speaks about. So explosive, such great footwork. Van Rijn with a more conventional carry. And then a steal from Jamie Blamire. Goodness knows how he did that. Van der Vaalt tosses it out the back door to Conan. It's all gone backwards so far. It might work out for Sale and Roebuck.
Advantage, knock on.
Goodness me, how close was that to a bonus point try?
That's what they can't afford to do. You know, when you're 27-10 down already, 17 points behind, you can't afford to give away something so sloppy. Oh, he should have gathered that almost. You can see in his face. He would expect to take that, and the game then would have been completely out of reach for this Newcastle side.
It's averaging just under a try every other game, and in Sale colours, over 40 tries and over 90 appearances. He's got 11 tries in 15 matches for Sale and England combined this season. 9 of those coming in a Sharks jersey. Typically has a bet with his old pal Aaron Reid, who's on the bench tonight. Who gets the most tries over the course of a season? Loser buys the winner on Nando's.
Crouch.
Of course, other poultry-based takeaways are available. Callum Chick off the base in his own 22. And Max Clark.
No, it's not.
Again, a very awkward position for Newcastle. to try and get themselves out of. Stewart with the lower trajectory this time, and it lands on the man of the moment, Tom Roebuck. Off he goes. Always seems to break that first tackle. Ford. Ben Curry. Ford again gets that attack purring. Dupria to his not so little brother Jean-Luc. Brett Connon has ripped it, but it's gone forwards, and it's going to be a Sale scrum. We're lurching from knock on to line out. No real flow to this match, but Sale won't mind that. They're firmly in control.
Yeah, firmly in control and playing the right areas of the pitch, and it's very difficult for this Newcastle side. Even with the rip there from Brett Connon going forward, another opportunity, another chance for Sale to put the ball deep or play the ball deep into this Newcastle half. The wind is really getting up now. It's going to make it more and more difficult for Newcastle every time. They're not going to be able to play their way out of it because of the way Sale defend.
Big call this from Steve Diamond. Doesn't look like an injury to Sam Stewart, his Centurion scrum half. He's bringing on his young teenage tyro. Not long turned 19, Joe Davis made his England 20s debut in the recent Six Nations age grade championship. He's been given 35 minutes against the Mancunian Monsters.
It's a big call, that, isn't it? Sam Stewart's been a stalwart for this Newcastle side through thick and thin. Him, Callum Chick, Jamie Blameyer. But Steve Diamond sees a lot in this Davis.
He made his Premiership debut, his professional debut indeed. Round one at here against Bristol all the way back in September. Steve Diamond has very, very high hopes for Joe Davis. It was such a surprise to the Davis family, mind you, that his parents were on holiday in Ibiza. We're not expecting him to get his opportunity as early as he did, and as the youngest member of generally the matchday travelling squad, he's the man on tea and coffee duties on the bus on those long punishing journeys across the length and breadth of England. And Newcastle go on their travels. No penalty this time for Sale. So War to Dupria. Very happy in those close quarter skirmishes, Rob Dupria. Bamber stacking shelves and working in building sites not so long ago. Found his home at the Sharks. Carpenter, Obateinbo quickly up on Tom Roebuck. And for the first time, that Yorkshire, Cheshire, Carpenter Roebuck axis not quite functioning.
They did really well on the outside channel there. They looked by all ends beaten. You can see here the pass. Thought they were on the outside. There have been a knock on there by Newcastle, but they got away with it. They scrambled really well there. That's what they're going to have to do in this second half. It's going to be a very, very tough half for them.
No. There's your mark, lads.
Al Sanderson always prefers to watch Sale games from down pitch side, from in the technical area by the dugout. He reckons he gets a better feel for the game. He likes being able to shake the players' hands as they come off. Doesn't feel he gets anything from sitting in the stand with the analysts and his coaching staff that he can't get directly or indirectly from being right in the thick of things. Callum Chick into Ben Curry.
Nine, use it.
And Joe Davis, for serious job will be to pick up where Stewart left off. That's a more appetising box kick. Roebuck took it and knocked it backwards. And a lot of Sale jerseys off to the left. Carpenter runs it straight. No messing around. Combative young man. Ford, space in the backfield, and if there is space in the backfield, George Ford will find it, giving Joe Davis the runaround with that bouncing ball. The teenager boots it back, and that's a big yardage gain for Sale, and that's experience.
Yeah, you can just see that. That's what's going to make it so hard. You know, they make a really good kick from Joe Davis, good chase, make 30-40 metres, but then George Ford just back in the pocket, nails the corners, and they're back in their own half. Very, very difficult task for this Newcastle side.
Wait.
One more try for Sale Sharks to register that all-important bonus point. 6 points out of the top 4 coming into this one. Of course, results elsewhere this weekend will dictate what a bonus point win would mean for them. Dupria tosses it out the back. Poku Fordur goes back, standing start, takes 3 to stop him. Maasi White.
That's advantage. You're deliberately trapping it with your leg.
Penalty coming for Sale. Van Rijn, qualified pilot, down the narrow side. War going wide to Ben Curry. Loves to patrol those outside channels. Sale smell blood here. Van Rijn, Dupria, Carpenter sizing up Arnold. O'Flaherty 1v1 with Herrell. Looks to take him on the outside, but Herrell stands strong, and Sale will need their penalty.
Well done, unlucky. Back we go.
Great work in the outside channel there, wasn't it, from Alex Herrell? Not only did he make the tackle, he was on the ball. Referee would have given a penalty, but he's gone back for the original penalty for not rolling away. You could see there, I think it was Gus Waugh was tapping the Newcastle player on the floor on the back, telling the referee. You can see there, is it Van der Vaart? Looks like. You can see his leg, he knows exactly what he's doing, stopping the ball from coming out. Christoph Ridley right there, and again, another opportunity for George Ford, just nail the corner.
Christoph Ridley, a referee, by the way, was part of England's Six Nations training plans. Not only was he officiating the competition, but he was in his capacity as an RFU official, almost as a consultant, refereeing live sessions with the England team. A big part of the analysis that Steve Borthwick will do every week on England's opposition will be who's the man in the middle, what their trends are, how they're seeing the game these days. McElroy to Hill, and an opportunity for Sale to wrap up this bonus point score.
No change, Cal.
McElroy in there, Roebuck's in there as well. Down the narrow side they go, and McElroy plunges over. Sale flex their muscles, and the bonus point is pocketed.
Yeah, you got a sense as soon as George Ford kicked to the corner there. We've spoken throughout the game how strong they are, the best team in the Premiership from driving mauls, the most penalties from driving mauls as well. 14 penalties they get from driving mauls when they don't score. But as soon as they got that rumbling towards the line, so powerful, such a powerful 8 they have. They finished off by McElroy very easily in the end. Joe Davis scrambling back to try and get there, but slightly too late. You'd have to say the game, if it wasn't over already, you'd have to say it is now.
5th maul try of the season, league leading in that department, the Sale Sharks. Another wonderful strike from George Ford. Perfect off the tee, and Sale on to 34.
Yeah, just too easy here, isn't it? You can see just looking up there, McElroy just doing really well to stay in the field of play there, just shielding himself, and then as soon as he sees the opportunity, as soon as it's going forward, he breaks off and scores the try. And another brilliant kick from George Ford. He really has had a great night tonight, both in attacking play and with his kicking game.
Just controls the game so well, doesn't he, George Ford? His decision making, his execution. 98 caps for England now, and although he's not necessarily first choice for his national team right now, he will certainly be in Andy Farrell's thoughts for the Lions shakedown over the summer. That's not a bad kick either from Gus Waugh. 40 metres eaten up.
Just compare that to a moment in the first half when I said Sam Stewart's trying to clear his lines. He makes 6 or 7 metres and suddenly Sale out of an attacking line out 30 metres out. Here, Newcastle on halfway on the back foot again.
Alex Anderson withdrawing both of his props. Bevan Rod with a try-scoring first half. Asher Poku Fordur with a typically busy performance in the loose. And on come two squat, muscular specimens of themselves. Wilgriff, John of Wales, Si McIntyre, once of Wasps in his second stint at the club. There's big Wilgriff. So more ammunition for this Sale front row. Van der Vaalt off the top to Davis. Clark and Lockwood. Conan, change of direction with the kick. Callum Chick chases after it, but War was alive to the threat. Wilgriff John with his first touch. Pretty eventful Six Nations, so it's Sinbind at Murrayfield in round 4.
Can't use it.
Tough old time to be part of that Welsh setup at the moment.
That ball's out.
Gus Ward dinks it over the top. O'Flaherty against Obatuyinbo. Fullback gets onto it and then gets wrapped up.
Nine, use it.
Sale on course for just their second away win between the Gallagher Premiership and Investec Champions Cup this season. Other one was a real cracker, the demolition job at Ashton Gate back in late December. War stabs it down the tram lines. Over to Yinbo, running down blind alleys. Big fend to get rid of Gus War, but the scrum half recovers. And Newcastle once again driven back into their own 22.
Yes, of course you are. Pressure. Use it, 9.
Davis to touch. And Sale can muscle up again and come back again.
But again, having to work so hard just to get out of this corner, get out of their 22, get out of their half. And as soon as they do make any mistake, you know, Sale are so good at capitalising on it, either going wide or obviously putting the ball back in the corner. So just very, very difficult at the moment for this Newcastle side. No real obvious out for Newcastle at the moment.
Gus War patched up. And back to action. Good tussle between two of the lighter weight specimens on the pitch, Obatuyinbo and War. And Sale have gone to the bench again. They brought on a flying machine, Aaron Reid, for Tom O'Flaherty. He's lurking in backfield here. Duprea to Ben Curry. More punishment dished out. McElroy. Newcastle defending with 14 because Philip van der Vaalt is down out of your picture. Bottom of the pitch as we look at it on this near touchline. Sale attacking a man up. Rob Duprea kicks in behind. Carpenter and Roebuck, the henchmen, go after it. Alex Earle in an awful position to try and get out of. And the ball is loose. Newcastle scramble through Richard Palfreman. There's Philip van der Vaalt gingerly trying to get back into the line, but he's not going to get there before Christmas. He's badly hurt.
Yeah, all right. Use.
Conan in his own in-goal area just has to get out of dodge. And I think Newcastle are going to have to go to their bench again here.
It doesn't look like he's continuing, does it? He's really struggling on Philip van der Vaalt. And again there you just see Brett Conan gets the ball back, tries to clear it. It's probably as good as he could do from the position he was in, right on the goal line, or right on the dead ball line actually.
Yeah, checked in Christoph, with no foul play, mate.
Right, Philip van der Vaalt is going to have to be replaced. On his stead has come Ollie Leatherbarrow in jersey 20. That will necessitate some reshuffling up front. Probably mean Freddie Lockwood will move forward into the second row alongside Seth de Chavez. Christoph Ridley, by the way, just out of shot was pulling down his sock to show his assistant Hamish Grant a big stud mark. He'd been trodden on at some point. Former Leicester Tigers Academy scrum half Christoph Ridley, used to the rough and tumble, but he's going to be looking like an old banana tomorrow. Anyway, here come the Sharks again with Roebuck off his wing.
Not now, Newcastle, leave it.
War. Jean-Luc Duprea into Brett Conan. Van Rijn, every carry, driving a dagger between Newcastle ribs. But not without the ball.
I was going to say that was becoming far too easy, wasn't it? Every phase they went through there, they made probably 5 metres, 6 metres in the carry. To be fair, that was ripped on the floor by Max Clark.
I know why you're frustrated. If that happened, then I apologise.
The referee's seen that, but definitely illegal from Max Clark. Got away with one there, but sometimes you do. But it is looking a bit like a procession now for Sale.
Gandalf the Grey, the wizard arriving precisely when he means to, and drinking some of the local fine establishment ale.
Crouch.
24-point margin. Still more than a quarter of this game left. And Newcastle, with the wind blowing in their faces, have struggled to get out of positions such as this. Penalty at least will allow them the opportunity to gain some kind of foothold down the pitch, but it's right in centre field.
You can see Brett Connon there going, which way shall I kick it? It's not easy from the middle of the pitch when you're into the wind, but he's done a good job there just to get it out. Great take
And the biggest cheer of the night is for a bloke in a bobble hat who took that as cleanly as an international fullback.
Because it's too tight. It's difficult, that.
I would have been proud of that.
In 5.
Can Newcastle fire a shot or two?
Get out, get out, get out.
Can they narrow the gap a little on their northern foes? Clark and Leatherbarrow repelled brutally by Ben Curry. And Joe Davis will be shaping for a kick here.
9, use it. Ben, let go now. Ben.
Alex Herrell, unchallenged, couldn't take the ball though, and Wilgriff John pops up with it. War, McElroy, Ford, Rob Dupree, just through the hands of Reid, but Roebuck will gather and in one hand blast a hole through the middle of Newcastle's defence. And then Callum, well, it's Freddie Lockwood in fact, has to be penalised for that. Gus War chucking it straight off his coupon.
It's unfortunate.
Couldn't have timed that better, could he? Great run onto the ball, but just for the wrong team. Freddie Lockwood, but even Roebuck there, and that space he had. I think if you're going to run in that space, you're going to most likely get hit by the ball.
What a take, sir. What a take. And just about the only thing the home fans have had to cheer about. Poor old Freddie Lockwood, a bit reminiscent of Dan Byrne at Wembley on the weekend. Famous weekend for Newcastle United, for sport in the city. First trophy for the football team for 70 years, beating Liverpool 2-1. The hope is one day in the not too distant future, with the investment they seek, with sustainable business model and some local talent behind them, that the rugby team can start to scale the heights that they once climbed themselves. There's Sam Dugdale, one of the great sales soldiers of recent years. He tops tackle counts over and over again. He's a real workhorse, and he has to be, because he's got the Curry boys, Tom and Ben, for competition. He's on for Jean-Luc Dupree in the back row. Aaron Andrews as well on in the second row. And up soars Sam Dugdale. Sale Sharks begin to squeeze. Newcastle straining every sinew to keep them out. Out it comes from Nye Thomas. Rob Dupree ripped that pass away. Carpenter controlled it on the instep. Over to Yinbo. Has it over the top to Clark. And now Herrell can stretch his legs, but his kick is drilled into the ground. And Dupree himself, who made up so much ground to get back and recover possession. Roebuck popping up. Ford and Ben Bamber. Thomas, Ford, Maasi White. Another loose pass, and Newcastle onto it through Brett Connon. Maasi White recovers well. Quick ball for Davis. Arnold, kick ricocheting back for young Joe Davis. Where's he going to go with it? Roebuck puts him down. Ball trickles loose. Leatherbarrow grappling with Nye Thomas. Leatherbarrow looking for support. Davis is quick upon it. Connon. Kneeled.
No.
Davis again. Definitely up the tempo, the young man. Loose passes again. Sammy Arnold running backwards. Clark dummied the kick. Sam McIntyre wasn't buying it. And Sale do win the penalty, and it is Sam Dugdale.
Yeah, you just feel the more scrappy it gets, the more loose it gets, the more it plays into Sale's hands. They're so tight and such a close-knit defensive unit. Really hard to break down. They always seem to have the decision-making, the breakdown's brilliant. You know, if they can make a tackle and make an offensive tackle, they only tend to need 1 or 2 people in the breakdown to compete. Newcastle having to send in 3 or 4 players just to make it an even contest.
Max Clark did miss the Premiership Cup semi-final 2 weeks ago with a little calf strain. It kept him out for a week or so, but it's not nearly the pitch that Newcastle can afford many injuries in. Not that they've got huge depth in any position with the size of squad they've got. Maybe just the left leg trapped under the body as he was tackled by McIntyre.
Christoph, check. We need to review this tackle.
There has been a formal review signal by TMO Andy Jackson. Just wants to show us a head-on-head collision. There it is. Didn't see it at first. McIntyre on Max Clark.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because he sort of slips there, Si McIntyre.
On field, that looks like almost all the force through the shoulder. So let's absolutely.
I mean, for me, if anything, he's slipping down. He's on his shoulder. I mean, I would imagine it's probably going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
So a majority of force through the shoulder. It's
Correct.
definitely foul play because he could have been lower, but it's a low level of danger. So we're thinking that.
Yeah.
Well, Simon McIntyre is going to be dispatched to the bin for 10 minutes. A high shot on Max Clark. And the yellow is brandished to a few jeers.
I think that's one of those ones that could have gone either way. I think Si McIntyre, you could see he was trying to slip down, he was trying to get into the position, just mistimed it slightly. There's no malice in it at all.
It has forced Max Clark off the pitch, so Louis Brown is his replacement, and Newcastle with a man advantage the next 10 minutes. De Chavez takes, and they spin it down the narrow side to Cam Neild, and then they spill the ball. And Sale Sharks could punish them here. Roebuck unleashing Maasi White. Big fend on Spencer, straightening up through the middle. Look at the pace on him. Louis Brown's first job is to drag him down, but there are orange jerseys flooding through this AstroTurf. Thomas, Ford, John. Curry, neat handling. Andrews put George Ford in a bit of bother. Ford put him right back into it. And Mickey Newcastle brings it away for the home team. Davis bangs it down there. He saw a lot of space, just put too much on it. There is no advantage from the Sale spill.
Yeah, it was unlucky. Great option there from Joe Davis. He's got a really good kick on him, hasn't he? He's got a good box kick, real good height on it, real good power in his kicks. So they've gone back for the knock on anyway. As you can see here, he's on the floor, just fumbled there. One thing to note as well, when Newcastle turn the ball over, everyone is sort of, no one's fanned out. Everyone is sort of honeypotting around the ball. They don't have much structure. They don't get into position quick enough. I know it's easy to say at 34-10. Probably the heads have gone slightly. but they just need to be more urgent. If you watch Sale as a team, they've been completely different tonight to Newcastle in terms of their urgency in defence and attack.
Right, with Sam McIntyre off, Sale have got to sacrifice a back. They have chosen to do without Tom Roebuck, so Asher Opoku-Forjur can rejoin proceedings and make up the full complement of front rowers.
I thought they were always under pressure.
Substitution for South Sharks, going off 13, Tom Roebuck, coming on number 3, Asher Opoku-Forjur.
Yes, Brockers.
Crouch.
15 minutes to play. In a freezing cold and blustery Kingston Park. Early drive from Sale. And Newcastle play. Joe Davis, the exuberance of youth, to Leatherbarrow. Met hard by Andrews. Kneeled. Kieran Wilkinson with his first touch. Lockwood. Arnold pulling it back. Neat hands from Wilkinson, the former Sale Sharks youth, to Obato Yinbo, who's hot-stepping his way past a couple. Wilkinson, numbers off to the right if Newcastle can move it. Sale shut the door quickly. And Sale win the penalty. And Sam Dugdale has another. Two brilliant pilfers.
And they really did earn that, didn't they? Again, just defensive teamwork. You know, Newcastle thought they got on the outside, but the drift defence of the guys in behind the winger rushing in. You can see the winger rushes in, and the 13 and the 12 drift in behind and cover and make Obato Yinbo come back on the inside. And it's just that scramble defence, that effort from the team, that togetherness tonight. That's exactly what Al Sanderson would have wanted, and the guys have been away for so long. We've definitely seen it from the Sale Sharks side tonight.
Into the 22, Sale Sharks will rumble again. Down to 14 men. But with such precision and such strength in this mauling game, that's what they choose to use here. Andrews sets it up. Curry. Dugdale. John. Thomas sweeping around to the left is Ford, injecting the pace. Reeds, potent tackle from Davis. Big clean out on Louis Brown. McElroy cutting back. Sale again, tensed and poised and ready. Thomas, Ford, neat handling to Maasi White. Angles of running, so cutting. Thomas caught at the base. Neild came through on him. Ford, oh, the box kick, cross kick. Oh, how about that? He's a magician. The sorcerer of Salford. How on earth has he done that? Carpenter scorches in to finish it brilliantly, but George Ford is playing with X-ray vision.
That was brilliant to watch, with the wind as well. It's not just the decision-making from George Ford. He's gone in at 9, he's looked up, he's seen the space, there's one man out there. It's such a small bit to hit as well. And what a brilliant take and finish by Joe Carpenter. You've got to give him huge credit. Look at that. It's got to be so pinpoint there for Joe Carpenter, and he puts it right on a plate, probably the only place he could put it.
First miss of the day from George Ford, but seriously, if Antoine Dupont does this for France on the weekend, we're watching it millions of times over and bowing down to greatness. This is every bit as skillful and a lot windier than Paris, I imagine.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. The wind is going away from Joe Carpenter there. It's pushing it towards the dead ball area, or the dead ball line. And the timing, the precision of both players, and the understanding from both players, quite brilliant.
Short restart for Newcastle, doesn't go the 10. As a Newcastle player, Hugo, when you're getting beaten up, when you're losing and losing and losing, when there are stories swirling round about how your club's going to pay your wages next year, what do you think? There's no sign internally or externally that in fact, you know what, forget all that, let's just watch George Ford again. We'll talk about Newcastle later. Oh, how good.
It's just, I mean, that's all you can say. It really is that good. Yes, they're 34-10 up, so you could say he's got a bit of a shot to nothing. You know, would he do that? Yes, I think he would do that in a similar situation, but if they were 10-all, for example. But that was just outstanding vision, outstanding execution, and brilliant read between two players that have obviously grown to know each other very well from playing so many times together.
Again, a mighty Sale scrum puts them on the front foot. Dupree back to Carpenter, and then a double knock on.
First there, second there.
Yeah, just execution, just letting them down there. Passes behind the shoulder, just not quite in front of Carpenter there. First Dupree just went behind him, then behind Carpenter. That gives the rush defence time to get up and put the pressure on them.
I can't give you cheap rewards. So I want to see clear go forwards on the scrum.
Right, back to that Newcastle discussion. What's going through your head if you're a Falcons player approaching the end of another trying season?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I think the coach plays a huge role in that. I think Steve Diamond's probably the right guy. There he is to be in charge of a team that, you know, is losing. There's question marks around the finances. There's question marks around a lot of stuff to do with Newcastle Falcons at the moment. But a lot of stuff will go on Steve Diamond. He will make sure that their focus is entirely on the job at hand. And the job at hand is to keep improving. You know, they're going to finish likely bottom of the Premiership. It doesn't look like it's going to matter in terms of a playoff that might have been. So he's got to keep them improving. There is signs that they have been improving, but they just, games like this just knock them back a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's going to be relegation this year or a playoff, as Hugo says. None of the Championship likely contenders, as we understand it, are satisfying the criteria to play top-flight rugby in England next season. So Newcastle, once again, regardless of where they finish, will, it seems, be a Premiership club next season. But it's in what kind of shape they'll be able to compete. The recruitment's been frozen for the time being because they haven't got that investment guaranteed for next year. Steve Diamond has retained almost everybody he wants to retain. We're talking in the region of 6 or 7 players to come in, the bulk of whom have already been identified. It's just getting contracts on the table for them that is the hold-up. But perhaps in the coming weeks there'll be some positive news about inward investment. We shall see. Palfreyman, how on earth has he taken that? One-handed behind his back. The South African clings on. Davis. Arnold. Oof, take that. Big shot from Dugdale again. Leather Barrow got away from Bamber, but not from Opoku Forjur. Davis again. Callum Chick again. Davis back inside to Leather Barrow. A roar of defiance from Kingston Park. Newcastle as dynamic as they've been all day, and then the error right on the line from Arnold has head in hands and groans ringing out once more around this stadium.
Well, we talked about the urgency not quite being there for the last 40 or 50 minutes. Yes, they haven't had much ball, but that was completely different. Everyone was running onto the ball at pace. The quickness, the speed of ball from Joe Davis. I've been really impressed with him actually since he's come on. He's really quickened the game up. He's tried to, you know, mix his game up with box kicks, with longer kicks, but also getting the ball away quickly. So that was much better from Newcastle, but unfortunately, you know, far too late. Only 7 minutes to go, a long way behind. You know, they want to still finish the game strongly. They want to have these positive moments.
So in the 10 minutes without Sam McIntyre, Sale have won 5-0. Newcastle 0 points since the 32nd minutes, 0 tries since the 22nd. The Chavez wins the line out for them. Davis to Arnold, holds on this time, but he is splattered. Hell. Davis quickly again there.
Advantage, offside.
Nailed on his own, but Sale were offside there. Leather Barrow, he's brought a bit of aggression off the pine. Wilkinson, Herl, Space opening up for Alex Herrell. Didn't link with Spencer.
Good steal, back for the offside.
Again, have a look at the work on the deck from Sale Sharks. Harry Thompson, the young hooker that time, but just so many Jacko threats, so hard to penetrate.
Yeah, and even when they look as if they're going to get broken up the middle, you know, Alex Herrell threatened to go through there. It's the assistance from the next guy.
Now, we were admiring the breakdown work of Sale. As we were doing so, Newcastle, through Kieran Wilkinson, kicked the ball dead.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, we missed that, didn't we? We were still talking about the last play, but so frustrating, isn't it? You get an opportunity, and I know the game's gone, but as I say, they want to finish the game. They want to finish the game well. They want to have some positivity going into the next game.
And that mistake from Kieran Wilkinson, a signal for a lot of punters around us to get to their feet and beat the traffic on the road back to the Metro.
Put them on. It's inside at the moment.
Ford back in his own 22. Again, look at the distance he gets on that. Davis backpedaling into his own 22. Decent riposte from the youngster. Ford signals this one's going skywards. Aaron Reid with all his pace and all his elasticity. Obatimbo did well, and then he was just caught high by Aaron Reid. So a free shot for the Falcons, and again a mistake under a little pressure.
That's a great take, isn't it? That's classic fullback play. Keep your eyes on the ball until the last minute. If you look at the defender, if you take your eye off the ball at any moment, he would have spilled that. Really good take.
Into the dying embers of this match, a match that has long since been dead as a contest, and Newcastle sound some kind of note of positivity at the end of it. Arnold to Herrell. Davis. Wilkinson, space out wide, rips the pass away to big Seb de Chavez of all people, lingering on the touchline. Wilkinson, Newcastle, one of the bright young things emerging from this northeast talent patch. Talent rich it is. Kick through for Alex Herrell. Carpenter, composed and classy. Off he pops. Just effortless grace when Joe Carpenter's on the move. A little bit loose on the deck, Ben Curry clinging on to it. Newcastle had it through Wilkinson, and Christoph Ridley really has to reward them for that.
On the floor, 7. He's putting his body on the floor, on the ball, trying to get it back to his team.
So 2 minutes and some change to go in this one, Hugo. Who are you selecting as your Gallagher player of the match tonight?
Yeah, my Gallagher player of the match. Well, first of all, just a few mentions for some of the players, because I think Sale as a team have been outstanding. I think it's been a real team effort. I think Marcy White has been brilliant. Tag McElroy and Bevan Rodd, but George Ford, my player of the match, Gallagher player of the match is George Ford. He's everything that's been good, every little moment, every little opportunity, rounded off by that kick to the corner for Carpenter.
Another dusty line out from Newcastle Falcons, over the top from Fletcher, and Ford himself drills them back downfield. Obatimbo blasts that high. After it goes Louis Brown. Horrible one to get after, but Brown's done well to take it. Couldn't get the offload away, but Newcastle back in possession. Minute and 15 left. Wilkinson, little teasing floater to Fletcher, and Obatimbo and Herrell. At last, some Falcons fluency. Ford puts his head in the spokes. Davis, front football, Palfreman pinballing forwards. Niels has to throw the dummy, can't get that pass away quickly enough. Fletcher from a standing start. Davis, Wilkinson, Arnold still looking for soft shoulders. still trucking manfully on. Handed to Neild. Now Thomas clings on, wraps up the ball. Davis, Palfreman, caught by John. Final 30 seconds now. Here's Lockwood. Arnold picks and jams. Thomas gets to him. The Chavez standing guard. Time is up. Callum Chick, the captain's last stand. The Chavez, shackled just short. Blind they go, over they go, and in they go. Richard Palfreman with the final act of the match does give Newcastle something to cling to, and their supporters something to shout about.
Yeah, and for the last 5 minutes they put into this game, they deserve that. But you just feel, if we'd seen that for the middle part of the game, the middle 40 minutes, yes, maybe it was Sale tiring. But the subs have come on, they've done a really good job. Joe Davis especially has really got this team going, just sped everything up a bit. And in the end, it's a bit of positivity to end the game and take forward with them, this Newcastle side.
Wilkinson from the touchline, not quite. Wide it goes, but it has no bearing on the final outcome of this one. The battle for the north of late has been rather a David and Goliath affair. And the Goliath, the juggernauts of Salford, have once again flexed their biceps and reasserted their dominance on the north of England in the Gallagher Premiership. A much needed win for Alex Sanderson's visitors from Manchester here at Kingston Park. Back among the victories, back on the horse. Full time at Kingston Park. Newcastle Falcons 15, Sale Sharks 39.